Welcome to today's edition of Viewer Levels. As we await the first submissions in queue, we're going to take a look at a new upload that has just come in from Tino. Tino is a maker who has been very prolific all the way since back in Maker 1 and was formerly very active in Maker 2, but this is the first upload on this profile in several years, I think, since 7MMC a couple of years back. And it looks like something from 2020 has been dug up and finished, if I understand this correctly. So let's take a look at Koopa's Revenge, a story from the long-lost, banished archives of 2020. Okay, so you got a big Koopa and some little Power Koopas. I see. The idea is that you have to dunk them, and they die, and then they get a revenge, presumably. What do we tap this again? Well, no, then we can't get through. So let's go through the door and see what happens. Looks like a story level of sorts. I see 1-ups on the left, and look at that. Koopa's not happy. And so we'll have a little bit of a chase sequence here until the scroll decides to break. Oh, I see. We need to go around and collect. And through we go. Oh, we're going to be approached here. And oops. Looks like we've been saved by the block. 06i, welcome. You are first up today as soon as we're finished with this one. Okay, so we just need to get around this little circuit here. All the way down. And just mind our step. And our head, rather. Oh. And clues when we're trying to jump across this way. And we'll be careful with this spike block here, too. So could I spin jump through it or something? Oh. Oh, I see. I think I sort of hit the edge. I was trying to spin on top of that, but I think we were interrupted by the ledge or something. Mail64, welcome. Good to see you here. Don't know if you've finally had any luck acquiring the Switch 2. But if not, the hunt continues. Regardless, the playtesting will continue either way. There we go. And let's just open this gate. Get back up over here. Oh, by the way, I wonder if... Well, this will be right on top of the spike ball. I'd better not go through that gate, depending on what its initial position is on the track. Alright, and I guess we just launch here when it is safe. Mail64, you're saying the last few weeks have been eventful. Interesting. Anyway, I think the Koopa that has turned into Durebones has died several times over at this point, hence this movement here. Yeah, it looks like it is just a timer gate by the looks of it. So we'll just survive that, and then we'll hit the accident, and there's going to be some ending scene that's going to happen with everything coming in on the left, no doubt. Oh, I see. It's going to take us backwards this way, and then what will we witness this time? Ain't gonna switch on us? Nope. You went on a trip in France for work. You got your Switch 1 stolen. Well, I hope your data is recoverable from the cloud. For any transfer purposes. That is a terrible way for the system to go after so long. Let it be a lesson to always transfer to new hardware. Oh, so you actually acquired your new hardware and you didn't do the transfer? Is that what you're implying? I mean, it should hopefully be cloud synchronized. Yeah, all cloud saves were safe in a way. But then there are some of the things that are not transferable on the cloud if you didn't bring it over, right? Like if you have anything in Pokemon or Animal Crossing or anything that didn't get carried over. And I actually have no idea what the situation is with one's local files in Mario Maker when it comes to the cloud. I actually have never looked into this. And you lost Animal Crossing and all Pokemon. Yikes. Absolutely dreadful. My condolences. Anyway, let's put 06i's level in and we'll keep on talking. Alright, let's take a look at this over here. Yeah, right at the tail end of the system too, just what a way for that to go. I mean, the most irreplaceable stuff, though, right, is your Maker library, including courses in progress. Well, depending on how many hundreds of hours you have in Animal Crossing. Super Naimi World. This will be a 1-1 on this. We have not played this. It's got a 1% on it and a pretty long record. I've got to pull up a machine translation for this one. You lost a few minutes of Maker 2. Oh, in terms of what was done since your last Cloud Sync, then. Let me just grab a machine translation of this pretty quickly. And we'll see if we can fumble through it. World 1-1. This island floating in the sky is full of mysterious creatures. Set off on a great adventure on this isolated island, isolated from the rest of the world, to the town, the snowy mountains, and even underground. This is the final course. If the machine translation hasn't garbled it, because I guess it would be the first and the last course, for some reason. Right. The Animal Crossing Island stings because it was a timestamp of 2020 in a way. Yeah, as it was for a lot of people. I mean, I don't know how active you've been on yours since. I've actually been fairly active in Animal Crossing in recent memory. Because I picked up Happy Home Designer about a year ago, and it was actually quite robust. And I actually just recently did a big redevelopment as well of my island as I transferred to Switch 2. Anyway, thank you for the recommendation, 06i. Let's see how we do with this one. It was an OLED Tears of the Kingdom edition. Wow, that's especially a big loss that as a serious collector's item. Very difficult to replace. Now, okay, so I guess we'll continue here. I don't exactly know what this is implying to me, but anything for Nuggles, welcome. Thank you so much for the submission. We have a multi-checkpoint gate here. Notice that the first coin was forced, so there is some kind of anti-key death protection by the looks of it. Oh, we should have actually paid attention to that overlap. I can never remember what some of the overlap priority is, but in Maker 2, I think spikes take priority to most things. They don't stack gracefully on top of semi-solids like they used to, and I think that the same is true for the skull platforms there as well. So let's maybe not jump on skulls. Unless it's a dry bone skull. And let's see here. Anything for Nuggles? You're saying your local casino makes you take a pick with a big check anytime you cash out over 10k. Yeah, so, you know, if you cash out, you can't just be perfectly anonymous about your winnings. I guess we should just get over here. I feel like that's a bit of a locking risk, isn't it? Because what happens... Well, we're going to do this because we're silly. No, the big ones don't die to stop. I just needed to double check that. I couldn't quite remember if that was a kill on the big one. Let's take a look here. Obviously, there's a continuation down here. There's a continuation to the left. Something... I mean, it's pointing left like it's inviting me to cycle through the checkpoint or something, but we'll do this first anyway because we're reckless that way. That's an exit. Anything for Nuggles. I feel like that just makes you a target for crime. I mean, I can totally understand how the casino would want to promote how, look at this, a real person is actually able to win around here, and the house doesn't just shaft everyone, but... Or rather, you know, there's enough of a payout to promise people that there's actually a chance. But at the same time, I feel like that marks you as a potential target for crime. Like, it's not that great. I guess somebody who works for the casino has calculated that brings in more of an audience than it deters, but I'd be concerned. So, interestingly enough... Oh, no, I didn't want to go there. I was trying to jump to the left and show something about the spike, and I just slipped. Anyway, we cycled through the checkpoint, so it doesn't matter. Let's get through here. Yeah, friends and family begging for money as well. It is not great. But I guess those are externalities that the casino doesn't think they have to deal with, and so they just don't care about the impact in that sense. So the thing is that you can totally just jump on the spike here and continue jumping once you lose the helmet. There is an additional spike up top, and I don't know if you can clear that with a jump. I feel like this is the kind of thing that, yeah, it's a bit of a trap. But it's a trap that's slightly off camera, so you don't know that you can't do that. Which makes me wonder, I guess that's why you have this sort of self-destruct spot over here as well. Unless there was something that you could ascend through here, like a block that you could hit. Unless it's some kind of, you know, precision jump out that vine or something, which would not be kind. Okay, so this level is very big and there are multiple backtracking paths, yeah. Yeah, I can see there was that very high clear time to it. Even by somebody presumably pushing to clear it without checkpoint. I feel like this is a wraparound for sure then. But you need to be careful not to fall in the pit after that. Yeah, the wraparound is clearly doable, it's just not the most comfortable jump. Whoop. I guess you need to leave yourself a little bit of headroom. Okay. There we go. And then... Now that looks like we need to vault over that, but... Vault over that and catch the vine with the momentum that you have from forward motion. Maybe. I'm not crazy about that. Let's, catch it anyway. Jump up anyway. We have an additional helmet in case you've flipped it up to this point. Now, interestingly, you can jump up the left side if you want to get on that spike. But again, I don't know if that's one of those hidden traps. It's inviting you to take the right, of course. I don't know if I like that jump. Oh, I don't like that jump. Okay, that's fine. Now, let's do this again. It is possible to take a damage boost path on the left, but yeah, the more of these jumps we have to do, the less consistent we'll be. It is inviting you to try it. We're gonna try it. So it loses the helmet. Does that matter? I guess we'll find out soon. Bit of a design issue if it does, in fact, matter. We can always go down and get the helmets on another pass if we want, but I feel like we want to just continue for the time being, unless we, of course, we take the death. In exactly the spot that we're concerned about. Okay, let's do this. And this. And just wrap around again. Okay. Well, I always talk about how we don't see enough large-scale exploration in Maker 2. We'll try this end again just in case we can make it work. Whoops. Dropped it a little too low that time. You kind of have to go as low as possible there. Nope. Oh, and well, we'll just have to reclaim the other helmet now and see if we can grab that one instead. Let's try it. I'm not a pixel precise player with this kind of thing. I feel like that's a very ugly jump. I think we'll take the damage path up left. We haven't seen something that creates a problem for it yet, but we might if there's something like a Muncher Gate or something that requires... No, I guess we can't do it anymore. Captain Bandit, welcome. Thank you for the submission. Pit Shifter, welcome as well. And yeah, Captain Bandit Traditional is very welcome around here. So, I look forward to seeing it. Hopefully we don't make you wait too long behind significantly longer levels like this one. I guess we could try this wraparound again. It has not really been successful for me so far. Nah, you know what, let's just explore. Let's see what's ahead first. Then we'll see if we need it. We want to not do a correction jump here too early because of the ice. Let's just see. There might be a state switch around here at some point, which would then resolve things slightly, but whoop. Nope. No. We'll get over it. Okay. Let's mind that spike. That's another point at which we could, whoops, potentially take another damage boost if a helmet is still available at that point. But yeah, anything for Knuckles. I'm sure you've run into Pit Shifter quite a bit if you're submitting to various streams around this time of day. Pit Shifter is a long-time regular here as well. And has been very active again lately. With some music auto-scroll. Okay. Whoops. Yeah. Slip. 1K man, welcome. It's going alright. Okay, let's lose this one again. We're still kind of exploring, so unless we hit something that absolutely requires the helmet, we'll keep with it this way. I don't want to do a correction jump here, as we know, which is why I'm having a few issues. Very difficult to avoid that temptation with the ice being what it is. Oh, we do want to sneak under there, but we have to be very careful as we slip off that corner. The icicles are here to say you really should have kept that helmet, but we didn't. Nope. No, we did fall into that gap earlier, but we had issues with it afterwards, and yeah, unfortunately, that's what happens. Doge, wow, it's been some time. Hope you've been doing well. And seeing some entertaining reactions to your various creations. Okay, let's get over here. And continue this way. Oops. Now we're only a few coins in so far. It is a linear series of obstacles that are built around a multi-checkpoint system. Yeah, the icicles do not force me to have the helmet as far as I can tell, but they are a significant safety consideration when we don't have the helmet. So we're doing a bit of a trade-off here, estimating that trying to attempt that vine is more of a fuss than dealing with the icicles here. Whoops, there we go. Nope. Well, let's see. lot of slipperiness all over. There we go. Okay, there we go. And now we slip around this way and totally miss. Anything for Nuggle, you said the last streamer that played your level said it changed his life. Yeah. Before that streamer played your level, they had not yet played your level. And now things are different. Here we go. Do we want to do the bounce over here? Yes, we have to. Oh, that's going to be a little rough. Oh, nope, missed a jump. Captain Bandit, you're saying, what's the worst Mario enemy? And anything for Knuckles thinks it's a dry bones. Well, I guess it depends. Depends on what you mean by worst, right? In terms of most irritating to deal with, or most difficult, or something like that. There we go. And then, of course, we missed the direction over there. Well, we did need to pull back. Yeah, you don't like the Porky Puffer, the big fish that eats you, Captain Bandit? I would say that hammers are very often a problem, my brothers. That's why they were such a massive difficulty spike back in SMB1. I'm not saying that would be my answer, I'm just thinking about how, you know, particularly in Maker, you start noticing just how different they feel from everything else in terms of the element of RNG that they add when it comes to their movement. So something along those lines, probably. Predictable motions can effectively be dealt with. Okay. Let's give this one a go again. Let's try to... It saves us time further up. It's just not the most convenient jump down here. Okay, that's a lot better. Because now we can actually do some corrections from time to time. And not worry as much if we need to take a point of damage at some point. There we go. Yeah, if we hit that spike, then we hit that spike. We still have the safety. Oh. Oop, flipped. And all the way down. Whoops. This way. Not speeding through this by any means. Well, at least we're not the Maker and didn't have to do the clear check however many times. Whoops. Oops. Okay, let's see. We can make it this way. This could take some time. Okay, there we go. That's progress. This will also be progress as soon as we catch the cloud. Okay, that's fine. Could be a lot worse. And I see twisters and it's worse. Okay, as long as we keep vertically aligned somewhat, we are not in the worst shape. And that's the exit of this segment. Seems like something else drops you in here later. Unless that's a dev pipe or something. I bet it is like a dev route. And yeah, Red Knight, welcome. It's the Belosive. I should talk to you after I get out of this segment here, after the P-Switch expiry. This guy going away? Okay. Let's get out. And yeah, Captain Bandit, that would take some thinking, like I was saying. But it would probably be something that has an element of unpredictability to it, like the hammers. But I don't know. It's very situational. It's much more about the level itself than the enemy, right? Like anything else. Any element can be put to good use in the hands of a maker who has a concept for keeping them under control. Okay, let's see what actually broke here. There was a state switch, so I just guess we'll continue and go around now that everything's been plugged. Reverse it from time to time and just kind of lead it around until we have a way to go through the same passage. Oh, I see, because you do the same passage all the way back up and you exit out the top with a state switch now. This is actually made somewhat easier, at least. This stuff. More of a safety point all around. So, yeah, even these blocks give you a bit more leeway when it comes to jumping. Everything is made slightly easier, in fact, to account for the fact that you're dodging the pokey. I'm a little behind in chat. Let me just get through this section first, and we'll catch up on the talking. Yeah, nice little nuances here in terms of just easing up on every jump slightly. Few minutes, you're in the Philippines. Oh, right, you did say you were going there. Hope it's been fun. Okay, let's... Okay, that little zigzaggy motion seems to have helped. There we go. Now let's see about the clouds again, or not, because we actually have the platform on the other side available this time, in theory. Nope. Step around, step around. There we go. And more pokies. Watch them cycle around a bit until we just get them out of the way. Nope. Oh. Let's see if we can make it up to the top. Yeah, like I said, we'll catch up in chat in just a moment. Let me try to not totally choke in this segment first. But then, how come we can't get up there yet? Is there something I'm supposed to take? I can't really bounce off of these guys. There's an on-off switch on the other side here, but... Am I supposed to raise a twister up there? Or maybe the state switch is just going to take care of itself until we have some future segment to go back. I'm not sure about that. This puts you in the same kind of spot as before. I feel like we were supposed to get up to the exit pipe, and we missed that opportunity. Yeah, because this just cycles back, so that can't be it. But it might drop you one additional segment down in the checkpoint system once we cycle in. Because we had broken through the previous one, right? Maybe. Well, let's see. Okay, 68 seconds. Yeah, because then passage continues this way. Moles galore. And bullets as well. Good thing we kept the helmet. I mean, we had a helmet available at the top over here as well. Okay. And then we're going to lose it. And it's going to be a problem, isn't it? Let's see. And here's an exit. Let's get out just quickly enough to get out here. Oh. Let's see where they go before anything else. Does this even matter at all? I don't know. I better hit a checkpoint before we calculate that. Captain Bandit, you're saying, will Mario Maker 3 happen? Yes, I'm confident it will. It might just be some time. As in, it might possibly be years off. But the thing is, Mario Maker is a series that does have a strong, consistent audience. As much as people constantly fret that the game is dying or whatever, if you actually look at the numbers, it is one of the healthier Nintendo series. Sort of into, you know, B tier that keeps Nintendo's portfolio alive. Anyway, we knew we weren't getting much further with that timer, so this is alright in terms of preserving progress. Mill64, you're saying that's where we have the quote Naruto, and Naruto says believe. I know nothing about Naruto, so I'll just have to trust you on that. Ending for Nuggles, you were saying earlier bloopers are your friends. We've seen some really interesting blooper concepts. Somebody made a really good blooper level for 9MMC last year. I want to say it was Shearwater, but I'm not sure if I'm confusing that with a different level. But yeah, anyway, somebody made a really good one. That was about jumping on the baby bloopers in a very controlled fashion. And yeah, bloopers, despite some of the random movement that you get out of them, actually can be put towards really good purposes. Whoops. Oops. Let's mind the one-ways here. There's the booze parachute down all over the place. Just a nice little mini-game within a game, actually. This whole sequence here. Feels like many vine climbs. Oops, that was a mistake. Rather reminiscent of the kind of thing that would have come from Nintendo had they ever further followed up on Donkey Kong Jr. I guess that's true of a lot of the Mario vs. DK series too, as well. You get all the vine climbs going on. But anyway, let's get through here. We obviously would not have made a timer previously. And let's see where this kicks us out. Dojo as well, you made a really good blooper level in 2022, but it's still unclear. Still uncleared. On one hand, it doesn't surprise me. On the other hand, I feel like it's one that you've shown me. And I think I know which one it is. With some luck, it's going to be featured in future run for Team 0%. Yeah, Mail64, you see, Dojo as well, I remember from even years back, has a particular style. Let's just say it. It's a very deliberate style. And it's going to maybe be of some interest to Team 0%. Whoops, missed this already. There is a kind of a safe spot in the middle if you are absolutely precise between the spikes, I guess, but we're not, so we'll take the death there instead. And yeah, given the structure of the checkpoint, there is going to be some kind of anti-key death mechanism, perhaps past this point. Yeah, we'll just need to deflect that as much as possible, and oh, that's a problem. Yeah, we just needed the Muncher to have 2 more drops for the bomb. We just need to get out of that section in the middle. Whenever we hit the switch, we'd go low. Yeah. Nail64, you're saying you watch anime subbed or in French. And, you know, a few years ago, there was that anime crossover project for Star Wars Visions, which I think is still occasionally developed with new seasons. And the really irritating thing about Disney Plus is that they actually did not have English subtitles. They have English closed captions, which are closed captions for the English language track, but they don't have English subtitles for the Japanese track. And it was a matter of great consternation. And so the solution I ended up going with, because my literacy in reading French is maybe just marginally good enough, was that I watched it with a Japanese language track and French subtitles. Because Japanese with English subs for the original Japanese track was actually just not available as an option. They just did not have it. And I don't think they ever fixed that. You're saying this is a long level? Eh, we haven't been on it for that long, relative to some massive exploratory levels we've seen in the past with multiple checkpoints. The difficulty is pretty gentle, for one thing. And so we haven't had to, whoops, retry too much, I say, as we take a dive in this section here. We want to double tap the switches, even triple tap them as often as we can once the muncher gets off that conveyor. We don't want to tap so frequently that the muncher doesn't proceed, because my eyes are obviously not on it when my eyes are on Mario hitting the switch. 06i, yeah, I saw with the kind of red state switch moon thing up top that there clearly was some kind of secret path. And there were the vines earlier on that went off screen as well, which indicated to me that there might be some off-screen shortcut. And yeah, we can't make that jump. No. We need to just be a bit more careful about staying low until we can actually approach the switch, and we need to get back down immediately, which is the tricky bit. With all the accidental vine clings I do. Whoa. Nope. That was not going to go. Yeah, the issue is that I'm not the most accurate when it comes to getting back on the vine at the location I want. So, we'll have to drop out of that central segment a lot more successfully than we've been doing. It is a well-designed room. Like, it's very meticulously put together in terms of the slopes being, by design, annoying in just right places. But yeah, we just need a nice, gentle rise through the middle when the opportunity presents itself, and nowhere else. Whoops. Nope. Yeah, the thing is, when you jump up towards the on-off switch, I'm not doing it in a way that gets me back on the vine very successfully. And Doja as well, the issue is that I keep touching the pokey and the skulls that kill me. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, that might be a bit of an obstacle. That might just be something that obstructs progress. And Mail64 wills catch up on what you said in just a moment. The solution customer service found, just put the whole interface in French, which solves exactly nothing. Yeah. I feel like I missed the first part of what you were trying to tell me there, but we'll get back to it in a moment. Oh, actually, when you intersect with it like that, that's surprisingly successful. Okay, down we go. Oops. That was also surprisingly successful. That was not. Nope, no. One more hit, too, away from getting out of there, so. Oh, right, you were talking about how you have issues on Disney Plus with whether the localizations are available. In terms of French language audio track, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I pretty much always go subtitles for everything. But I'm trying to think of whether there's some notable exception. There was a time when in North America, for quite a long while, Disney, I think, had the distribution rights for Studio Ghibli because they were the ones who produced their own dubs and localizations. Usually it would be, supervised by people from the Pixar teams and people who took Miyazaki very seriously. So, to put in some effort. But the issue was that often for the theatrical releases in many regions, you just, for the longest time, would not have a Japanese with subs release at all. It has been less of an issue in recent memory. I think they corrected this many years ago because of the demand for just watching it Japanese with subs. But for a while, the easiest way to actually find theatrical releases for the Ghibli films in Japanese with English subs was, oddly enough, in French-speaking Quebec, where that would get a dual release. Yeah, it isn't as much of a problem recently. Like, I do remember seeing some more recent films like The Boy and the Heron in Japanese with English subs with no problems. But it used to be something that I'd have to be meticulous about checking as somebody who vastly prefers subs, even when the dubs are well produced. Oh, we need one more hit. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Let's try to catch this across. Oh, no, missed it. So bust down the right side, but then why do you even need to bust down the right side? There must be... Well, we'll take a look. Yeah, ML64, I mean, I'm somebody who... So my very limited French is much closer to... like, I didn't learn French from sort of Quebecois French Canadians, and I do know that, like, their accent to me is also incomprehensible. And so... And I understand that people who natively speak French are even much more opinionated about that. And Tactics 47, welcome. Anything for Nuggles? No, I haven't been on it for that long. I'm looking at my stream timer. I've been at it maybe close to 40 minutes, but we've had much longer excursions in various levels. Much, much longer. And yeah, so the people who are waiting for their turn in the queue behind us, thank you so much for your patience, as always. But I looked at the clear rate and the current record time, which is a 6-minute 40 record time in this, and the checkpoint structure, and it was clear to me from the beginning that this was going to take a little bit of time. It's not that bad, honestly, because the individual segments are not that difficult, although we need to not choke here. Actually, I remember back in the DS era, so there is, for Nintendo games, a separate, or there was anyway, I'm not sure if there was anymore, a separate French-Canadian localization that was produced by Nintendo of America, rather than the French localization that would be done by Nintendo of Europe. So there is somebody who is in the credits who is at Nintendo Treehouse, a few people, in fact, I think, who are French-Canadian specialists, essentially. And so I remember that this was something that was kind of in the news back in the late 2000s around the DS era, and specifically around the release of Phantom Hourglass. That, you see, people at various governmental levels in French Canada are very fussy about language, as those of you who might be familiar with French Canadian politics would no doubt be aware. And I remember that there was this thing that was a big flap at the time, because they were very fussy about how they thought that the French-Canadian localization for some games in the DS era, like Phantom Hourglass, were kind of excessively slangy. And I remember there was a big stink about it back then. There are probably still news articles about it that you can dig up. And yeah, Mail64, you can confirm that Nintendo games have Canadian flavorful localization. I think that hasn't been the case since global releases started happening with the Switch, right? Because I did play through Breath of the Wild in French, for instance, and I seem to remember that it was actually, you know, French. But certainly, if you're in the era of region locking, buying the American cards, or the Canadian cards, which are the same, just with different packaging, then certainly the text in those back in the region lock era would be French-Canadian text. Tears of the Kingdom is different if it's EU French or US French. Interesting. Same card, just different Switch. Oh yeah, because it would be based on your console settings, right? Because, yeah, now that you have all of the language selection typically tied to the system setting, unless you change it in-game, you would have that as an option. But the thing about the global releases that we've had since the Switch 1 is that I feel like the access to localizations has been in a much better state than it used to be. You know, it's less restricted by which region you happen to be buying the game in. I understand it's a little different in Japan, where they had some kind of discount for region-locked units for Switch 2 or something, which I don't totally understand, but I think it was mostly, you know, to preclude scalpers from playing the export market. Anyway, we've had some close runs over here. We had one that was basically one press away. We've just been really, really careless about dropping off the vine. Whoops. Yeah, let's just get on and just ride it back and forth until we can actually get a clear shot. Whoop. And, well, so much for that idea. Yeah. See, I'm not climbing down quickly enough. We need to hit that as early as possible, get a big jump, and then clean up that drop. This room has taken longer than it should, considering that it's not really that difficult an obstacle, in theory. Yeah, Mail64, you were saying earlier, French-Canadian tracks, I feel like it doesn't even have the Canadian accent. It's like Parisian French, except for the perfect English for any English name. I'm making sense of that. I'll follow what you're saying in a moment, once we stop losing the helmet. Oh, I see, in terms of localizing the actual names of characters and places, perhaps. Yeah, anything for Knuckles. It's no secret, speaking of Montreal having lots of game studios, that I'm pretty sure Canada's biggest cultural export internationally is almost certainly Assassin's Creed. The only thing that, I mean, I haven't looked at dollar figures or whatever, but the only other thing I could think of would be maybe, I don't know, Paw Patrol or something, because the children's market is massive in unseen ways. But yeah, you have a lot of, you know, film and animation production studios that have subsidiaries that are based in Canada for tax reasons. Like how Vancouver's a massive animation hub for Hollywood running second production units. But I mean, yeah, whoops. Let me try to get through this first and then we can actually talk in peace. Whoops. And we got totally locked in position there. We should have taken advantage of the damage boost to go up for one more hit. So you're saying in the French localizations with Spider-Man, the hero's name is Peter Parker. And the way French people say that name is very wrong. Okay. I'm not going to attempt to speculate about how that would sound, but I don't think that would go well. Whoops. Look at that, just slipped right off. I guess we'll play this one out. You can technically kind of survive in this corner. We don't need to climb as far down as we've been doing, it's just that we've been hitting the switch so late. Anything for Knuckles, I don't really recall how big Splinter Cell used to be. I never really paid attention to Splinter Cell back when it was very active. Actually, for the most part, I don't pay attention to Ubisoft outside of what came out of Ubisoft Montpellier with the Rayman games and most recently the new Prince of Persia. I don't play that much of their open world output. But Assassin's Creed has been rotating between Montreal and Quebec City for quite some time now, I think. It's actually in the Canadian Museum of History, formerly known as the Canadian Museum of Civilization, that they have an entire floor that's, you know, dedicated to notable artifacts of Canadian-produced entertainment and culture, and there is a case there that is about Assassin's Creed. Because it's actually pretty notable in terms of global scale and reach. You're saying you watched the Sam Raimi Spider-Man in Canadian French, but the voices were very different. Oh, I see. I see what you mean now. That they speak French until they have to speak the names of the characters and then they just say it in English rather than how a Parisian would say it when reading it. Okay, that I understand. Yeah, I didn't know that, but again, I don't really follow French-Canadian dubs of things, so I can't believe we're still missing this. We've been within one switch press a couple of times, but yeah, anything for Knuckles. It feels like we're so far removed from Splinter Cell's prime in terms of its brand recognition and influence, but, you know, series come and go. I feel like there are a lot of franchises where people would be surprised that they're not as big as they used to be in terms of mind share and clout. Okay. Nope. Just totally clipped by this guy. That was way too risky. Oh, nope. That was not going to happen. Yeah, ML64. I mean, with Halo, I don't really keep up with that, so I don't know how much of its numbers are obfuscated by whatever the situation was with Game Pass, if it is on Game Pass. But definitely in terms of mindshare, you know, you still hear about Halo 2 and 3 sometimes as some of the last great software midnight launches. And, whoops. Catherine Beefheart, the rest of Team Music World went very well. It is all on our YouTube at this point, if you want to catch up on the VOD. I had an absolute blast with that when we finished it last week. Possibly 2 weeks ago, actually. But yeah, we enjoyed it very much. And particularly just a variety to it that, you know, with that much music scrolling and music looping, that there was still so much character that the individual levels were able to offer. I cannot believe we're still here, but oops, that's what happens sometimes when your vine climbing is as dreadful as mine. And yeah, Red Knight, of course I enjoyed the puzzle level. That whole set. Because of course we did. Oh, no. Yeah, I have a lot of issues with just slipping off vine climbs, and moreover requiring the vine, but this is something that mechanically I do find challenging, but we'll work at it. We've been on this particular room for probably the last 15 minutes or more. So once again, thank you to the patience of people who actually want to potentially much simpler levels or much easier ones to get played. Oh, no, you see? Just making a bad call as to which vine we were actually going to reacquire after a particular jump. The other thing, too, is that because you're kind of jumping directionally, I find that sometimes I have a bit of an accidental diagonal output, which gets me to form a new vine cling much sooner than I want to, and that's one of the issues, is that sometimes I can't completely predict where I'm going to grab a vine on the way down, just because my movement to get off the vine is disrupting that calculation to begin with. And so let's just climb, and then again we want to hit the switch nice and early and just stay on after that. That was exactly what I said I would not do. I don't think the solution to the one-screen puzzle, if that's the one you're talking about, was particularly obscure. The thing that would elude people, I think, who are not that familiar with puzzles would just be the thought of riding your way to the bottom of the layout. That's one thing that, you know, puzzle people would find much more familiar than people who normally just play music auto-scrollers or whatever. And that you wouldn't necessarily have seen it in normal play. Otherwise, it's just a matter of looping around a structure and figuring out what to do on each loop, right? I didn't actually look at the hint room. I seem to recall Catherine Beefheart telling me that the hint was about the outride, which makes sense as the potential sticking point. Whoops. Alright, let's not die here if we can avoid it. Are we finally getting out? No, because we got trapped. That was the exit right there. And there we go. Yeah, Catherine Beefheart, you're saying you goofed it up even when you saw the solution because you left throwing POWs instead of dropping them. Yeah. The thing is, when you play a lot of puzzles, you get accustomed to the idea of smuggling items as far as you can, whether you think you need them or not. I mean, I still throw a lot of POWs by mistake, but usually I'm much eager to try and keep them if I can. Look at this thing. It's just completely traps you. And the thing is, if you deflect the pokey with the helmet, then it's off course in ways that make this room difficult to repeat faithfully. You don't always get the same movement because you disrupt it just enough by bumping it, as you're very likely to do. Whoops. Okay, nope, next pass. We need to get in the habit of not going for that on-off switch if we, whoops, are coming towards it too late. Nope, couldn't catch. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of nice to have that variety in Team Music World, where, you know, for example, for me, I'm definitely absolutely not any kind of precision player, but then you would have a bit of gentle precision that was just doable enough. And I'm sure it was the same feeling for people who are not puzzle players, right, who needed something that was not going to stall their progress through the whole thing. I was definitely concerned that some of the precision elements were going to stall my progress through the whole thing, but they actually got out of the way fairly quickly. Okay, now we've been on this level for about an hour, as was previously claimed. Oh, no. See, I'm just not catching the vine on the way down. And then now it's obstructing me from below, so... the pokey there. We've been close several times, but just haven't closed the deal on this. Okay. We'll stay nice and low otherwise, although it does deflect. We just need to get it well out of the way, and then go for it. Whoops. Nope. We're coming in way too high. Moments like that. And then, nope. We could have dropped out to the right in that moment. We probably should have. I don't have a system for this room at all. That's one of the problems. The other problem is that we're just not executing well when it comes to getting on and off the vine at all, which is a problem. But yeah, with the helmet, we want to stay nice and low whenever possible, just to be below the pokey whenever possible. Oh, totally off that jump. Whoops. Okay. Nope. Sort of unclear where it was going to bend. Okay, well, this is taking a little more work than I originally envisioned. It's a very simple layout, too. It's just something that gets chaotic if you're as bad at Vine climbs as I am. Particularly with just a Poke movement, you know, sticking you halfway through so often, obstructing the way down. Did I get trolled at the end of Composer's level? No, I dodged that, I'm pretty sure. Actually, yeah, I'm trying to remember what the troll was. I might be confusing it with a different one. But I'll have to think back to that. It's difficult for me to visualize it while I'm playing this here. But I remember it coming up that I was making some kind of remark about how, you know, Composer likes to troll. And I don't remember if that was because I got caught by it. No, I was trying to drop off the Divine and we went too far. Was it one with a Thwomp coming over at the end? Because I feel like we did dodge that. If I'm not mixing it up with a troll in a different earlier level. Yeah, people get over eager to finish sometimes. Oh. Well, at least the Poke's high up this time. It's fortunate. It is going to come back down, though. And then snipe me right there. Yeah, I can't believe how difficult it is to close this out. Just, you know, between Divine Climb and a Poke movement. I really underestimated this room on the whole, I think. With the helmet, you can send it back up. You know, if, as 06i is saying, it likes to go down at the end. Oh, no, you see? We're just getting cut off by its path so often. Nope. Yeah, I've a lot of trouble with executing Vine Climbs cleanly to begin with, and so it really does unify everything in this whole level, though. Vine Climb plus Poke, that's what this whole stage has been about. Building up to at this point. Sometimes we just need to know when to stall, I think. Okay. No. I was thinking that I'd be trapped there. I don't think I would have gotten out of that spot with my movement pattern there. I didn't see a way out of that. We had the last switch press. We did it accurately. We just had no way out of that spot afterwards. I feel like I want to avoid hitting the Poke with the helmet, I say as I hit the Poke with the helmet, just to try to get a predictable pattern, because whacking it with the helmet adds unpredictability. It's why we've been unable to do this, is that it never goes the same way twice, because you just don't know when the helmet is making contact. And as soon as you disrupt the Poke, it completely changes what you're going to be dealing with, and so it is very improvisational from that point. Even apart from the question of whether you're climbing well. No. Didn't see a way out. Nope. One more. Let's get this out of here. Nope, it's just going to tail me. I should have jumped to the right. Try it without getting the helmet, huh? That's a thought. Then we can be consistent about dying. That's actually a serious thought. Because then at least we can have a predictable pattern. We can just try not to whack it, though. Okay, we nudged it a little bit here. Oh, we're still here. Yeah, because up to this point I was thinking, well, the level is large, but we're not repeating very much. We're progressing very steadily. This room, not so much. No. And we'll get this. But it is causing trouble. Yeah, because if we don't disrupt it there, then it stays in this pattern. Then we can go around this way. Oh, this is going better than usual. Way better than usual, actually. This might be to run. There we go. Why do we even blow that up on the right side? What do we even need that for? Oh. And we never even got that coin. And we would have needed to take damage to hit this unless... Oh, maybe there's something to spawn here. Let's go back in this pipe and try to come back in. And we'll try to catch that pipe on the left. Now, why would it give you that? Oh, no, because that's the same layout as before. Okay, we'll enter here. Alright, so it's telling me there's a particular sequence. We're almost certainly not going to see it. There are vines. There's this column here. There's this. Oh, I see. Yeah, so this is the secret path. Right, okay. But you have to do the whole level over to see this. So we're not going to do it this time. We might attempt it some other time. Yeah, because it's telling me that if we take, you know, a particular route here, then eventually we can really get up to the moon exit that we had seen before, and then that's what allows you to trigger whatever was necessary. Now here, yeah, because it would spawn something potentially that would then give you the passage up, and then you would use the spiny hat in that location to pop up to the top. We're not seeing it. So. We'll take the GG. Okay, we made it. We stumbled out of that one in spectacular fashion. Anyway, I'm just going over to chat to see if I missed anything really critical in the conversation earlier. And yeah, we'll just proceed to the next one. No64, thank you for waiting. And once again, condolences on the fate of your Switch 1. We have to remember to punch in codes to switch two-way here. Nothing all that new. I played this one a month or so ago, rather, but it should be fixed. Right. I don't remember how I broke it. But liberate long-lost prisoners. Oh, right, because there were all the different spike ball paths or something that could be manipulated, right? If it's this is the one. And yeah, you didn't lose anything important from Maker 2, and that's very good to know. The Switch 2 keyboard looks weird, yeah. The system keyboard. I mean, if you're not accustomed to it. I don't remember what we broke in this, but we'll just go around and open things up. Oh. That crushes, and then it releases everything, and then... So I'm going to go around this guy. Right, because you can carry them forward, step by step. And they break out of there. Then you jump out once it comes down, of course, once you let it loop around and let it give you a proper platform. Much better. So we'll break it segment by segment. Oh, just trying to get over this. So if you don't break this, then you don't get the spin jump at the end. That's the thing. Yeah, so then can you triple jump? Yes, you can. That's okay, probably intended as an available skip. I'm glad we found it. Checkpoint down here. We should probably take something like that before we break everything like we just did. Oh, you can still go back for it, though. Right, we saw this bonus from before, in fact. And we'll try not to let Yoshi die. No, he's available. Yeah, so this is something you're supposed to check. Sure, we'll take it. Oh, and a star. We should actually gobble up another star. I'm just trying to do it in the edge position here, but... Okay. So I feel like keeping a star here indefinitely could potentially be interesting later, so... Okay. Let's just try not to lose Yoshi in the meantime. Oh, nope. We're gonna lose Yoshi in the meantime, are we? Nope. Nope, he's not gonna be lost. We'll just let him run back. There we go. I would like to see what we can do by keeping that star. I guess a star would allow you to run through here and hit that block. But that's only if you're small, right? Small plus star. So, we can always stomp it, though, and see what happens. Because it should be stompable. Okay. Let's just do this, and then... What does this give you? Fire flower? Okay, no, so you can't catch it unless... Well, actually, even if you take damage, then you can damage boost across, and you might still be able to catch it. And then have fire flower plus... Yeah, I'm going to try to do it without the star, because you need the small anyway. And then grab it. Then pop back across. And you have Fire Flower plus Yoshi plus star. Eventually. And we can exit through this gate. Okay. I vaguely remember respawning here a lot. I don't know why. Key on the left side. Right, this is just a checkpoint hub. That allows you to repeat through there. Okay. That's fine. Then we have the exit coin over there. No. Right, because you have a couple of different pathways that you can approach. So, for example, through here, you have to deal with this guy, and let's try not to get whacked by the hammer so we don't lose Yoshi at a critical location. Oh, and you can move the snake block, right? That's the idea. And you break that away, let it drop, and then he sinks. Okay, good. Now we better watch the timer if we actually want to keep the star for something interesting. And then you can cycle through as before. Alright, let's see what's on the left side, I guess. Having Yoshi flutter jump will help. And there's a skull ride back to the right, but we'll have to be careful about that, I think. We'll break this one out. Just looking at this and scanning for alternatives as well. So you open that up, and then now what? That pipe up top also looks awfully suspicious. There's one here. Like you can ride something towards it. Nope, more fire flowers. That's okay, we have what we need. We're just gonna go over this way. Why would we want to drop the dry bones? We don't. Okay, you have fire that is available to the left. We want to do it. Oh, actually, that just spawns. Alright, fine. That also drops. Then we have the gate that's available to the left, right? So, I think it's more complicated than that. Where Drybone will stay in jail. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, if it's not strictly required, then that's just what happens. That key on the left side is rather tantalizing. We don't have a way to activate the bomb yet, though. It looks like something has to drop off the note block, like a muncher. Maybe it was relevant much earlier in ways that we didn't see. Now, this time we have to actually cross this way. Ooh, that was dangerous. Oh! This boo is directly in the way. Directly in the way. And then, oh, there goes Yoshi with a star. This boo just wound up directly on top of the pipe. It was very unfortunate. Well, now we'll just have to be perfectly theoretical about what we could have used the star to break. If anything. Grab the P-switch, there we go. And that drops the muncher. Then P-switch also breaks the bomb up top. It also spawns something with munchers on the left side, probably vines. Oh. Oh, yeah, okay, you can drop back down. Okay. Well, no particular reason to escort the P-switch that far. I'm just trying to do the little jump thing over here. Because, well, we don't want to stand so close to the bomb, but... yeah, this seems fairly secure. Key death mechanism. Oh, right, the key on the left side. Yeah, that makes sense, given its placement. Makes a lot of sense. Now, why would we want to drop all the blasters here? Whoops. Why would we do that? It gets you up top, but then you can break this stuff. That doesn't actually give you anything unless you... this, and then what does that do? Just one up. Okay. Little bonus. Very nicely hidden. Let's get out of here before we hit time. So yeah, we will have timer problems in just a moment. But we might as well explore and see which gate we did not see. This green pipe down here. Yeah, too bad about not getting to see the Yoshi and Star mechanism. Or whatever we could have used that for. Oh, and then you need to jump on top of this one. We can eventually do that. Okay. and a lot of this can remain in place. Oh, there's a cloud there that we totally didn't make use of because time is up. Okay, all the way across before we get hit by something. Okay, we can see about this cloud. Let's grab this first, and then... Yeah, I don't know if that actually gives you something to ride towards, but... It gives you temptation, that's for sure. You're saying this room is new, still accessible through the slow snake blocks. Slow snake blocks. Which ones are those? Well, we'll take a look. Yeah, that could have gone better. Yeah. And now what do we do here? I guess that's not going to give you anything interesting, really. At least not by the looks of it. I wonder what it's even for then. Maybe something is secretly activated by this donut block. If there are any related mechanisms to deal with. I mean, it gives you an out once you exhaust all the platforms, I suppose. On the right with the boo, you were saying with the slow snake blocks, I could go over without doing this room with a cloud. I mean, I'm not sure how structurally that would help, but I guess I didn't look at it very carefully. Anyway, let's get over here and then finish up the path. This way? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I said you need a pink coin for the exit anyway, so... Didn't we outrun this guy before? Isn't that what happened last time? I feel like we did. That we did something to basically mess with his positioning. I seem to recall that I just flat out outrun. Oh, oops, I didn't account for that little nudge at the beginning here. Yeah, because once he gets into the sequence and he bumps back, but then he bounces back that way, and then maybe we can just outrun. What's that point? Not really. And then he sinks. Okay. I feel like that's probably still not quite the way you wanted that one to go, but that's okay. Difficult to make that kind of thing behave. There is something over here. Let's see. What else? Okay. Let's check. Anything else over here? Just more hammers. Oops. Let's not die here. Let's just take the exit. Yeah, I feel like you were intending that to be some kind of chase room to bounce the clown car over. I think that's very positionally dependent on the player in some ways, but... Anyway, thank you for that. I hope we showed it off the way you would have liked. I guess I'm thinking, of course, about whether carrying the star forward with Yoshi would have mattered to anything. I don't think it really does. I don't think that gives you a meaningful skip, but that's okay. Let's mark it as a win and proceed. Anything for Nuggles, if you're still here. Would be very happy to show yours off. I don't know if they're still here, because I don't see Nuggles on the list. They were hanging out for a while, too. But let me just check the list to see who's here. Because we took so long on that earlier one. I think we drove people away. Okay, we don't see a check-in. I'll just remove for now, and then we'll see if Knuckles comes back. Same with Captain Bandit, who I think also did abandon earlier. But we'll give everybody a chance to check in, because Twitch can be wrong sometimes about the presence or absence of a given maker. As usual, if I don't see people check in, but it looks like they're AFK according to the Twitch list, I'll just bump you back one spot. Yeah, they didn't have the patience to wait for me to fight with that room. That's okay. If they come back, they're welcome. Pitch Shifter, surely you're still here. And so we'll bring you in. But check in if you can. We'll at least look at the code first. And we'll just give you a moment. And in the meantime, we'll just put the Japanese through machine translation to fumble our way through it. Yeah, I'll see if Pitch Shifter is actually here. If not, we'll rotate a spot, but... With my head above the clouds, looking down at the mountains on all sides, I can hear the... something below? I can't quite... I can hear the thunder below. I can hear the sound of Mount Fuji below. I'm not sure, actually. Depending on what I point this at. Yeah. Couldn't quite get a clear image on the camera I was using for it. If Pitch Shifter is not checking in yet, we'll bump him back one spot. I think he might just be AFK. In which case, you know, we'll have a bit of time to plug away at whatever Dojo WoW sent us, if you're still here. We'll just rotate a bit. Yeah, because I know yours might potentially take some time, so we'll try to give it a good look. I can't guarantee that we'll spend as long as we did on that other long level earlier, particularly if this is something with 0 clears. But we'll do our best to figure something out about it. Oh, it's anything of my choice. This is a secondary profile, isn't it? Because I don't think I've seen this one before. Maybe. Yeah, so if there's a particular recommendation that you have, say so. Furry Mario eats sushi in 1-1. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of these are 0 clear. Puzzle level, you say? Oh, 0 planes is clear on that, I see. Oh, this is your only profile. Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember. Because it's been a while since we've come back to this. Right, because I got the clear on this however long ago. Years ago. What type of level do I want to play? I wonder if this puzzle is actually a puzzle. We can take a bit of a peek at it. Let's see what's going on with it. Let's find out. Okay, I guess, I mean, we need to explore. We'll just hit everything and see what happens. Moles, spines. Yeah, we'll just spawn everything and see what we're dealing with here. Mushroom. There is one mushroom, I guess. We should take the mushroom. And we'll try to remember its spot in case we actually need it. We should actually see what kind of exit is like first, and then come back to hit things. Just so we know what we're dealing with. This puzzle is impossible to solve without help. Okay. Right, because something holds the key, but it has to be something in the world that holds the key, right? Yeah, because maybe this is dependent on very hidden information. Well, at least we know that mushroom is not progressive. Well, if something holds a key, it can't be something that's in a block, so that much we know. We might as well hit everything and see how something could be hidden. I mean, anything might potentially just be in a location that's also unmarked, right? Like an invisible location. Alright, we'll just keep going, and then there's a pipe here, interesting. Yeah, any block could be holding a key, obviously. We got pipes in all directions. We should have gone up that bottom pipe, actually, after coming in, just to see where it goes. Let's try to spawn a mushroom, since we know we'll take damage. We can find it. I certainly don't remember. Yeah, okay, here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. On the right. Probably we need more than that, but let's explore. And where does this dunk you? Well, I mean, this has to be a spike wall on the right here. There's no way it's just open. Oh, one of these, okay. Yoshi would get you through one of these, but we also don't know if it's just going to be some kind of drop from up top. Now, this would obviously just, even if you were able to get through it, it would dunk you from there. So basically, you only come through here once you have some kind of solution to what's going on. I doubt you'd give me a Yoshi for that, though, so we'll see. Something's going on with those keys as well. I mean, it can't be as simple as just, you know, popping around with Yoshi, but yeah, there are a lot of unseen passages still. Possibly we can get up to one of those other pipe entrances, but we'll find out. Also, we're able to potentially take a Goomba through with us, which might be interesting from an up throw perspective. We'll get you through the gate there, but potentially give you a spin. Let's see. Nope. Hit my head. I was thinking we might be able to get above the pipe, depending on how much height I get off of that. Well, we'll find out. Yeah, I mean, there's so many blocks here, anything could be holding something relevant. Oop, no. No, it doesn't give you enough height anyway. Get up top. We need some other solution. I'm just thinking logically about how in this zone, what could possibly actually get you up there. We would need to spawn something that gives you some height gain. Nothing really presents itself. Fire flower. That's something new. It's not relevant to us yet. But it is promising in its own way. And that is something we hadn't seen before. It could be anything. This level isn't logical. Yeah, I know, but, you know, the game is still restricted enough that even when something is not structured in a logical fashion, there are things we can understand about what the possibilities could be. But yeah, of course, it's entirely possible that, as you described, it's just not clearable due to some kind of really hidden information. Look at this pipe on the left side, for instance. Top left over here. Implying that you could have a vine towards it, you could have... what we were looking for is perhaps a cape. You never know until you pop all the blocks. We're, of course, very unlikely to actually clear this, but... we'll figure it out somehow. Yeah, I don't think anything here is going to get us progress, but of course we're looking for something that might help. It's not going to be something as simple as Yoshi, obviously, because Yoshi would just let you clear it straight up, so I don't think one will be available. Cape would get you to the top left. And hidden vines would also get you there. It might just be an exit pipe that dumps you there, though, like a troll exit. Well, we have to check it. Right, okay, same idea. But, look at that. Now we have the possibility of looking at what's over here. So it dumps you through all the keys, and then... right. So that would seem before. Yeah, but essentially, if we don't know what kind of pipe exit to take in the subworld, we won't really know what to do with this. So yeah, probably isn't clearable, but... okay, we checked all this before. We even knew what a mushroom was. And did we actually run all the way over here to see? Right, there's this over here. Now, why would you even want to get a key for that? Yeah, it just might not really have anything going on. Let's actually take a look at more info. I don't think it'll give me much here simply because we see that pipe exit that's over to goal, and the pipe exit tells me that, you know, it would be some kind of pipe entrance in the subworld that is occluded from us. We do see that you have some key doors that are potentially matched. 6-minute clear time on this as well. That is unlikely to happen. Yeah, because we know from the question blocks we can get up to at least a fire flower that at least gives you some room for damage boosts, but past that point, I think you would just need to run around in the spike segment where it spits you out and just find something invisible to hit. We have both of the side pipes and the bottom pipe in that area accounted for, though, so that's something. Yeah, I doubt we'll actually make much headway with this, but let's take a look. Yeah, because as you said, I mean, you warned me perfectly well that it's not actually solvable as such. Pitch shifter, yeah, I moved you back one spot because you're AFK. I'm going to head to yours pretty soon, though. This one's not actually solvable by conventional means. So, oops, I threw it off screen, and I can't grab it. Yeah, we know that Fireflower can get you through here. Let's just explore a little bit. Nothing on this side, nothing on this side. I think this is just one screen wide here. Juicy Absolute, welcome. Yeah, Pitch Shifter, you know, we spent so long in that one particular room earlier that I'm not surprised people fell asleep at their desk, but... Those, wow, you're saying that you can give hints? I don't know if hints will be. I mean, obviously, if it's not solvable without hints, then, you know. Whatever, I'm sure you'll have useful information. So we can get up to Fireflower. We know that we can also... We didn't try running to the right after the pipe exit earlier. We do know we can get up to Fireflower, at least in this segment. We do know that, you know, there might just be one... Yeah, Pitch Shifter, you're still in the queue. I just moved you back one spot. There might just be a key somewhere in some block that gets you over to the next door, and, you know, we're not going to hunt for that. That's okay. We'll mark this as lost, and we'll head over to Pitch Shifters. I mean, you know, we asked for it. I was trying to figure out, of course, whether there was anything that could be figured out. But yeah, we'll come back to a different one next time, perhaps. How did I even clear this one? I remembered this one from way back. Oh yeah, this one was actually not that bad, I seem to recall. But, anyway. Thank you so much for the follow. And let's rotate to what's next. Yeah, but thank you for that dojo as well. We didn't give it the best showing, but... I'm kind of wondering now how long it took Zero Planes to navigate through it. But yeah, you're welcome to put your code back in. We'll look at something else from yours quite happily. Anyway, Fuji no Yama. Let's give it a listen. Oh, let's slide. And yeah, I know people just like to fumble through things like that with Level Viewer nowadays, which in some ways makes that whole genre of information hiding quite different, I think, in terms of how viable it is to clear it. But I don't really tend to use Level Viewer. I know it's an option, especially for levels like that, but... That's just how we do it. As usual, Pitch Shifter will try to go for... whoops. The optional objective when the time comes, but let's learn this segment first. I was firing it at that point. I kind of assumed I had to. Maybe that wasn't what we should have done, but that's okay. There we go. Yeah, I think we do. Need to do that. Oops. A bit slow on the uptake here. And of course we need to stun Boom Boom. Something that we saw quite a bit of in Team Music World is initially the kind of Boom Boom damage gate. It's become really popular, it seems, among the auto-scrollers. Whoops. Oops. Didn't think I'd actually hit there, because we released quite late. No, just let go of the slide too early. We do need to work on our speed getting up to that bomb just a little bit. No, too late. Yeah, because I don't want to crouch just the whole way, right? I do want to get out of the slide and then slide again on the conveyor. Otherwise, we have timing issues with the bomb afterwards. Well, we'll see what plays out smoothly. Nope, too late there. I don't wonder why we were losing that much time on the auto-scroll. Somewhere along the way we were stalling a bit too much. Oh no, I accidentally slid into it. We're still in the slide coming off the conveyor, so we released that too late. No, once again. Couple of bad habits to shake out here when it comes to getting out of the slide. No, I was trying not to do that this time too. I was trying to just let go and then grab it, but I guess we were still coming off the conveyor in the sliding state. We need to get up out of it sooner. Okay, there we go. That should be it, and then we'll redo it. Question. I mean, usually you say the year of origin, right? So, I suppose that is unknown. But yeah, we'll redo it for the upper path. Then give it a GG. Round 1. Let's give it another go quickly. And Leandro the Pro, welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. And let's not mess this up too badly. Particularly with that kick on the bomb right after this. Feels like we're a little slow here. A little slow. No, Leandro Pro, all difficulties are allowed. The stream title is not meaningful information. It's just there for fun. We always get a good variety of levels in terms of style and difficulty, so anything's fine. Hopefully we won't have too much of a wait for you. We did make some people wait a little too long earlier today, thanks to one particular level, but... Oh, whoops. Stood too close. And yeah, thank you for entering the queue. We'll hopefully get to you relatively soon. There we go. That's to clear. The level ID for this one, type exclamation mark current, or just wait a moment for me to. Clear it and you can see it. But it's also displayed in the top banner. The bot is actually working properly. So yeah, there's the code. And thank you so much for that one, Pitch Shifter. Let's mark it as a win. Thank you for the GG, and let's continue. Catherine Beefheart. Speaking of music levels, thank you so much for waiting patiently, and let's see what you got. Do you want me to take the latest one, since that would be fine? Scarvy Nova, do I want to play a level that you found? Yeah, recommendations are perfectly welcome. Oh, you want Radiohead here. Ice Age coming in cahoots with Barnstorm. Yeah, I used to know my Radiohead well. I kind of know early Radiohead a lot better than later material, but... Here we go. Let's give it a listen. Whoops, we totally misread that. No, I needed to jump that throw towards the on-off switch on the left. Nice little Bowser gate at the beginning, though. And then let's get on top of the icicles for once. This is from Kid A, yeah, that's right. I was trying to remember, it's been some time. Oops. Oh, nope. Bad throw there. That was an up throw by mistake. Yeah, Scarvy Nova, feel free to add that into the queue using the bot. That's a lot easier. Do put in the dashes though, or the bot kind of gets fuzzy. And regardless, when we have a chance to play your suggestion, we'll make sure we have the one that you want. We'll make sure we get it straight. Regardless of how the queue bot is handling things. Whoops. I'm slowing down a bit there for some reason. Oh, I was trying to go back and spin. You're supposed to spin, spin, and hit the on-off. We just didn't back out in time. How do we do that? That was unusual. Oh, I know what we did. Okay, let me just go ahead and fix that. Thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, very satisfying little exit over there. We need to go over that. I didn't even notice the Poto Booter last time. Let's try to catch up a bit here. Then... okay. Had to react to that quickly before we got hit by a hammer or something. And we dash into that, jump towards the on-off, and then land on the snowball once again. There we go. Nice boom boom placement there. And there we go. We don't want to completely miss. Barn did the platforming in this section, yeah. One thing that definitely came to mind with the sort of system-wide game chat screen sharing features in Switch 2 is that collaborative levels, in theory, should actually be a little simpler to put together, right? Oh, we shouldn't be spinning here. What am I doing? Let's jump for it properly. I guess, depending on how visible any of that actually is. Still tons of meticulous error checking, I'm sure, but... Yeah, because with the screen sharing features in Switch 2, that was certainly the first application I thought of when that was revealed. Oh, how did I... Oh, we just went a little bit short in that block. Let's not do that. Okay. There we go. No, you do need to pull back towards that. Can't just sail all the way forward like that. Oops. Yeah, I guess the arrow tells you that you should be aiming, just in case. Level viewer was down, so you had to do old-timey screenshots for this one. Oops. Okay, here we go. Let's try to step here a little bit better. I went a bit early that time thinking that it would give us a better chance of catching Boom Boom. That was not the right answer. Not that early, anyway. Okay, there we go. Slide. And then, again, we need to actually hit the landings. And then it's going to be an up throw towards that on-off switch as we get to the right side column. Nope, pulled back a little bit too much. That's a whole lot of screenshotting to get both layers down accurately. Oops. And yeah, need to fall back down and push right. Nope. We did the up throw, we just didn't hang right after the release. Rather, I was trying to hang right a little too late. The whole throw was a bit late, it seemed. Nope. I know I need a little bit of rightward momentum off of that spiny, we just didn't land it correctly. Well, that's the thing about these collaborations, right? Is that, you know, the other party is the one responsible for the platforming element rather than the music track element, then you're the one responsible for the clear check. Not too much of a problem for a level like this one, but you can definitely imagine situations where that is a roadblock. Oops. Let's try to land a boom boom accurately this time. I wonder why there's so much little fluctuation sometimes on my timing reaching it. Missed. Oops. And Mail64, you've got to go, yeah. Well, thank you for dropping by. Oops. And yeah, thank you once again for the latest version of that level, which, as you can see earlier, somebody else already took a new record on it. Not hard to do when I had the first and only clear. Oops. Oops. Nope. I've been trying to pull back a little bit to make sure we hit the boom boom. It's not really the right approach, I think, because we have trouble with the block afterwards. So it's just something that we need to straighten out about our timing here. Okay. Getting back in order over here. Whoops, no, I missed a bounce somehow. Yeah, and that, of course, just blows up the rest of that. Nope. Having a bit of an awkward jump on the boom boom such that we're coming in quite low on the up throw, and we're coming in low enough on the up throw that I'm not able to follow it up with a landing on the right side quickly enough. So haven't really been able to straighten that out yet. Oh, missed it. Difficult from holding hard right to doing the turnbacks? Maybe. It's more that very minor fluctuations in how I'm proceeding can affect my timing relative to the boom boom's initial jump. And all of the boom booms that we've seen so far, so... I feel like if we're positioning our jumps accurately, we shouldn't have to do very many turnbacks. Yeah, Catherine Beefheart, I don't know if you play on stick or D-pad. I'm very much D-pad only, and sometimes there can be a little bit of fluctuation in that as well. In terms of how certain movements play out. Whoops. I know that a lot of the most advanced Kaizo players actually do go stick, which... on one hand, I find unfathomable, right? Unfathomable. Don't know why my speaking is like totally off today, but no. But I actually understand why on reflection, because there are a couple of things like mid-air changes in movement in particular that are smoother with stick. Indignation Judgment requesting number 147. Oh, well, let's give this a pause for a moment and do this between attempts. And we'll bring that up for you in just a moment. I haven't done one of these in a while. Let's pull it up. Okay, here's William Shakespeare, Sonnet 147. My love is as a fever, longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease, feeding on that which doth preserve the ill, the uncertain sickly appetite to please. My reason, the physician to my love, angry that his prescriptions are not kept, hath left me, and I desperate now approve desire's death which physic did accept. Past cure I am, now reason is past care, and frantic mad with evermore unrest. My thoughts and my discourse as madmen's are, at random from the truth vainly expressed. For I have sworn thee fair, and thought thee bright, who art as black as hell, as dark as night. Thank you for that, Indignation Judgment. Just as I was saying that, I was totally tongue-tied and not able to speak today, but I guess we needed to warm up into practice. Anyway, I was saying that Kaizo players go with stick, which is unfathomable in some ways if you're a D-pad player. But if they're well practiced, it's understandable how that actually makes mid-air adjustment easier. I remember I actually played Celeste with stick, for instance. I didn't have a good D-pad at the time that it came out, because I didn't have my current Super Nintendo controller. Got it. But I remember that there was so much... Oh, Boom Boom first. In the way of mid-air movement in Celeste, that in spite of the fact that we were dying quite a bit to just inaccurate diagonals here and there, that stick actually worked out pretty well. Even for somebody who ordinarily just plays platformers with D-pad. But it depends on how a game and its movement mechanics are designed. So, the retro-era Donkey Kong Country games, for instance, are very much designed around stick in some ways, in terms of how they handle momentum and how they... also plan the levels around that expectation, so... those ones I can play stick. There are a couple of recent side-scrollers in the kind of Metroid adjacent genre that have been stick only as well. Metroid Dread being a prominent one, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown being another, both the Ori games as well. Like, all of those are kind of stick only. But they were designed around that expectation, so the movement mechanics were smooth enough that in all cases it wasn't the worst adjustment. But Mario, I've just always preferred D-pad, and it's what makes sense to me. I wouldn't have it any other way. Okay. There we go. Almost missed that last one. That was a bit of a tense moment there. I see this whole area to the left there. Oh, that's just the exit from the original zone, though. Yep, we got it. Yeah, I'm probably never learning stick for Mario, but that's okay. Thank you so much for that one, Catherine Beefheart. And let's take a look at another submission from 06i. Hopefully we'll not struggle with it quite as much as the one earlier today. Or for quite as long. POW Industries. Traverse through this huge factory that supplies POW blocks to the kingdom. This is a very early level from a month into the game back in 2019. And was, for whatever reason, quite popular back then. Yeah, because it's just a lot of POW rides. I mean, you can carry these as well to through some munchers. With these early levels back in 2019, I'm always looking for things to do with them that might not have been foreseen. This looks like it's an intended alternate path, though. Possibly a bit of a secret, but... Oh. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, it looks like you have a couple of different alternate passageways. A POW hit, of course, would drop to 30 coin, which we can play with accordingly. Then we don't know what the exit will be necessarily, if this is an exit. But we'll press our ways for some of this stuff. There's this type over here that we didn't check. Well, we'll take a look. We actually don't know what... Oh, I guess the door would be the exit, the one that we saw much earlier. And you can just jump up here without a POW anyway, so... Looks like that's probably what this level is going for. As Scarvy Nova, please use the bot. That's the easiest way to make sure I can get to one of your recommendations in the proper order. Because otherwise I will not remember. Will not be able to handle the order, so... it's just exclamation mark add and then put in the level code with dashes. This area looks oddly familiar. I haven't played this level specifically. I'm of course trying to see if we have sufficient runway anywhere here for flight, but I guess with a conveyor we would. There's no particular purpose of doing it. At least not yet. I guess if you want to get up there, but... Yeah, we don't really see a good reason to fly. Just yet. Oops. And we lost the cape. Let's just wait for some more. Sometimes the POWs will have to cycle all the way to the bottom, I guess, before you get to respawn. Oh, whoops. Now, that's the problem, is that we can't actually carry the POW if we're using the bone shell. That's okay, we'll live. Except, you would need to hit the POWs at the very least to get through the muncher gates here, which we'll do. And then here, there's this little mini game where we drop a POW and try to hit it. Well, you just stand in the right place. Oh, no. Nope. It's a little closer. Nope. Still standing too close. We want the claw to be within range, and we want it to drop the POW in such a fashion that we can actually catch. Whoops. That was dangerous. Not doing that again. That was an accidental exit from the shell. There we go. And sure, let's just get out. How did I not fall into the lava there? Accidental finesse. Oh, okay, you need to cart these down. Yeah. But we need to actually get within spawning range for it first. Lose stack, we will of course try to take another one. And let's see where this takes us. Yeah, the cape just gives you a little bit of leniency when it comes to the falls, but otherwise isn't that useful here. At least not yet. Okay, let's keep going this way. Not push too far ahead of the auto scroll if we can. I mean, I guess we can just whack some of this stuff and grab coins accordingly. Nice little sequence there. Let's grab the flag. Probably another feather if I had to guess, yeah. Oh, okay, and then we'll just split across and not get pushed. Whoops. Much better with the feather. I wonder if it was progressive. Whoops. There we go. Okay, I want to take it. But it's just an exercise not getting dunked. Perhaps. Okay, close to the axe here, but I guess we'll just punch everything here for the one up. That's already going to be the finish. Anything else? Not really. And thank you for that, 06i. Okay, Juicy Absolute will be next. And thank you for checking in. Let's bring it in. Juicy Absolute, for whatever reason, your code did not go through in the bot. Possibly it was missing dashes or something. It's a bit fussy about that. Just let me know in the chat what the code you want will be, and we'll make it happen. I can try to scroll up in the chat to search for it as well, but I don't know if I can find it. Oh, I did see it. Okay, one moment. Yeah, I know some bots handle this a bit more gracefully, but we'll get this in ourselves. Yeah. Super Peril Castle Boy. Very new upload. P-Boy Platformer. Let's find out what we're dealing with. Okay. So we got a big mecha there. That's going to zap things. Let's see. Looks like the helmet did tap the off switch here. I don't know if that'll be relevant to very much. I think there's nothing that we can do here other than proceed. But I wonder if we go back immediately whether anything interesting happens from things we're taking apart. Like if you can get... Oh, interesting. An on switch here, for instance. What happens? Well, you still have to deal with all this. Let's figure it out. Yellow pipe on the left side of that. We'll worry about it later. And the key available there. Okay, that's fine. A lot going on over here. Let's probably take the key door, but we'll check this stuff first. Totally suffer for it. Okay, we can do that too. Alright, so more P balloons immediately. Just need to be careful about the Lemmy segment over here. I mean, if we do take damage, I wonder if we can just proceed on the cloud by popping him off, but you know what? We're about to find out something. Except we keep getting bumped off of that stuff, so I was hoping to pick up a Goom and throw it to just bump him out of the cloud, but that might not actually have been a wise thing to attempt. That's okay. Bump him. Nope. There we go. There we go. Ride this out. Oh, except we don't have a people in for this bit. We don't have something that'll hit. So yeah, that's the actual people in gate. Nope. And then we have another on-off switch gate down below. Yeah, the reason that you want to hit the on-off switch is because it allows the mecha to break open the hard blocks on the right side, so we'll look for that possibility. Just try to go around here a little bit. Okay, that was successful. In its own way. Now we just need to dodge things while we let the mecha do its job here. Okay, that explains that bit, at least. And we do have a key available here. I guess we'll see what the skewers do. We might as well let them break everything. I mean, you know, it doesn't look like there's something we'll return to in this room, except for maybe that blue pipe there, which looks like it's actually an exit from the other key door. From this key door, in fact. But we might as well see, just in case there's some kind of relevant spawn block or something that happens. We'll let everything break down and play with it accordingly. Okay, let's just go, and then what happens? Nothing. Yeah, nothing. That's okay. And let's not get hit by projectiles right as we get over here, but that wouldn't have mattered by the looks of it. Key door on top of the eventual axe, a series of key doors essentially, will get us through this. Oops. But no doubt there's going to be some kind of P-switch gate. Probably on-off switch again. That does preclude me from doing much here. Oh, no, actually, you can just hit that and continue. Except now we have no cloud. And so it looks like we did find a bit of a self-destruct lock here since we aren't able to proceed. Not much to do over here. Although I wonder if we can really manipulate this somehow and do much else with it. There were definitely other locations where I was thinking of in terms of manipulating the Koopa positioning. That's okay. Nope. We'll just take the death if we get hurt. Oops. Well, so much for that. Hang on. Let's just come back here. Power up off track. No, that's not going to happen. Let's just take the death. Oops. Holy moly, welcome. If I've pronounced that correctly. And yeah, we're doing well over here. Let me just see how much of a queue we have, actually. Yeah, for those new to the stream, we typically close to new submissions fairly early on, and then we stay for quite a while longer to play through everybody who is already in. So we'll probably close pretty soon, like after either this level or the next. And then, whoops, nope, missed it once again. Although at that point, actually, we're late enough in this that we could have stolen the cloud to get up through the top right. Whether there's another people in gate after that is unknown. Oops. Nope, hang on. Nope. But yeah, if we hit the on-off switch fairly late and get the mecha to break the hard block wall before the cloud has been made available, we actually might have enough uptime on the cloud to exit with it if I'm for some reason permitted to. But we'll try to actually accomplish this accurately first and not hit every burner on the way down. Every burner on the way down. Oop, here we go. We're on the way up. Thank you so much for the follow. Okay, Mecha, let's do your work. Get over here. And look at that. Gives you the instant kill over there. And we might as well let the shell do what needs to be done. And try not to get hit by Bowser while we're at it. Yeah, all in all, we're still open. Like I said, we'll probably close queue in a very short amount of time, but there is still time to get yours in. Hopefully it's not too much of a wait to get to it. Other people available down here, for what it's worth. Let's just take a look at what we're dealing with. There was some kind of top passage that was available, with a lot of repeated whoops on-off. Let's see, it is possible to hit the on-off over here. Oh, not like that, we don't. Ooh, it's a ways back. Well, let's just mine our head here again. Like that. Nope. Close one. Yeah, let's lead him over to the spike ball. Yeah, Ollie Molly, thank you for the submission. Hopefully not take forever. Oop. Come on. Get over here. Squeeze in. Right, so you've got the on-off switch available over here. There'd be any reason to give it a second tap. I don't necessarily think so. Oh. Yeah, all the older levels are perfectly fine. I haven't published anything in several years either. But old levels we haven't played before are always still worth discovering. Okay, let's get up and tap this. Whoops. That's okay. You know what? We're going to try it with the cloud exit. I think it's quite possible. Oh, the issue with that, though, is that you drop Morton out, you still need the key off of him. So it is possible to try to get up there and pop him out of the cloud, but we still need to kill him. And now the cloud isn't accessible, so we can't do it. Okay. Yeah, because you could ride a cloud out of here, but you wouldn't have the key unless you nuked Morton first. So the implication is, you know, just do the simple thing and keep the people in. Always worth considering this stuff from a playtesting perspective, though. Nope. A little too daring here. We'll still try it, though. Oh. You know, we're taking too long. If I lose the cloud, though, we don't have a key. And we end up down by a key. Now, is it going to matter? I think it will, given the nature of the gates that are structured at the end, but I just want to see for playtesting purposes how long I'm allowed to proceed. We can fall onto the P-balloon on this side, which has an interesting implication, which is that we can actually go back to Morton for that key if it turns out that we need it. Oops. Oh, so much for that. Might as well just do something with Junior here. Grab another one. I feel like we're still missing that Morton key and that it's probably going to be an issue. We can also check this spot here. No, nothing. And I guess we do have to see some shells here. We're still within range for all that. I guess we will find out where this goes. So, now, do we have enough keys? Let's find out. We do. So, despite missing the Morton key earlier, by getting one off of Junior, we were okay. Okay, thank you so much for the GGs. And yeah, thanks for offering me first clear on this one. If we got it, we don't know if we did. And there we are. So yeah, I hope that went well enough, and that if it needs to be taken down for further revision, hopefully this gave you some useful information. And yeah, pretty flexible in terms of, you know, having a little bit of leeway to take some damage and still get out alive. Most of the time. Some of the time. Like I said, at this point, just make sure we can get through everybody. We will close submissions, and then one of the considerations here is that I don't know how long we'll take on the next one from Doge WoW. And yeah, GC Absolute, you're saying great job thinking through the Morton Cloud portion. I'm typically a puzzle player, we kind of have a bit of a playtesting mindset sometimes just to see if we can break anything, so it's always satisfying when we can reveal alternate possibilities. Even though, I guess you do have a bit of an early view of what the keys are like at the end. Because at that checkpoint's to the right of the axe earlier on, you do have a view of that. But anyway, I'm just going to take a moment to close the queue and mark my stream accordingly. And Dojo's WoW, in the meantime, you can suggest something if you want. But we'll be willing to look at anything. So yeah, queue is now closed. Let's just update to title. If I want a solvable puzzle, I should try to get Epic Cool Boss Rush Lemmy and Ludwig level. I will look for that one. And we will, of course, completely trust you on this. And let me just make sure the bot's displaying properly. So yeah, everybody who's still waiting at this point, as long as you check in to confirm that you're present when I call up your level, we will play through everybody remaining in the list. We'll try to give everybody a good solid look. Epic Boss Rush. Oh yes, okay. I've looked at this one at some point. years ago, probably. Wow, I haven't seen Sherby around in ages, actually. Speaking of streamers we haven't seen around, I wonder what happened to the guy, actually. I mean, you know, people come and go. I just never noticed that he disappeared. All lemmings are required, and there's an easy puzzle at the beginning. Yeah, I don't remember where we stalled in this one. I probably don't remember much about the level at all. I just want to see who got the clears here. Sugar Falcon, yeah, I do remember that you put Sugar Falcon through a good bit of business in this game, but let's play this and see what is solvable about it. Defeating all 7 Ludwigs. Yeah, we don't expect to get it clear necessarily, but let's figure out what we can. This seems familiar. This seems familiar. I feel like we actually spent a lot of time on this one once upon a time. I don't remember anything about what we figured out at the time, but I do remember that we actually did map out a big chunk of it and get reasonably far. I also remember that it was long. Right, there's a flower there that allows you to do the P-switches. This is probably not that helpful apart from the jump height. Yeah, there's some kind of invisible track underneath here that we need to be taller to reach. And of course there's all the P-switches. We'll see. We'll see if we can reconstruct anything about what I saw in this level once upon a time. So yeah, we want to ride and get underneath one of these, right? Or some way I actually managed to acquire the flower. Or maybe that's just a signal for what you can get on the left side here. It says aw. Probably because you're supposed to hit something dead center here and you don't want to hit the block that's a little off to the side. Let's run through this again. Spirit Wolf, welcome. Yeah, you see I keep all my VODs and makers, so it's probably a long time ago. We still have this in our video archive somewhere. What I had done up to this point. But there's no way I'll remember it now, so... So we know that ground pound gives you the possibility of grabbing a flower there. I feel like that's something that we actually did successfully do at some point. So again, you don't want to hit the bottom block here, but there's a way to nudge around it perhaps and come in from a diagonal, which might open up the possibility of hitting whatever is dead center. Like if you kind of go in a bit of a diagonal here so you don't hit this block that's at the bottom. So both of them give you flowers. You would need to hit one of them from below and then get a bit of a push out of it. Or it might just not be very obtainable. I just don't remember. Well, let's think about this. I clearly remember having found a method through this at some point. Okay, couldn't hit anything like that. Here we go. Yeah, there was a particular trick to it. And then there's some platform that you can tell here as well. There we go. I feel like there was a way to get the flower. I just don't remember how. But we'll see what's next. And of course, time would be an issue. Yeah, Dojo's WoW. I'm very much solving it from scratch. I'm just solving it from scratch from remembering that it was actually solvable for a good chunk of it. That I actually did find some way through once upon a time. I feel like the Fireflower P-switch sequence is relevant here. Well, and the fact that you could potentially... No, if you hit middle block, then you can't get the star anymore, though. That's the issue. Well, let's figure out a method for flowers, perhaps. Was this the one where there was a water segment near the end where... I'm just thinking back to which levels of yours I might have actually gotten reasonably deep in. Because I know we did put in the time for some of them. Okay, we got that. It's important, but we still haven't solved this issue here. Maybe we hit the one dead center here. That wasn't exactly what I meant, but it works. Now then the question is, can we actually get through to Ludwig's? There is a key door to the right after that. Yeah, we're gonna die this stuff, but...
Oh no!
But there was a method to the madness. There's a way that maybe we can get the star. If we get the star to bounce without losing it, that would be ideal, but I'm not exactly sure how we could set that up. Especially because, you know, the star's just inaccessible after you hit Divine. But if you get into a situation where you don't need Divine, can we? Let's see. Then you go for the star anyway, because if you can actually get up to the top without using Divine, then you're in business. I think if you're tall, you can do it. And then you'll be able to hit the star. No. There was a particular timing that we could have hit here to make that happen. And of course something is just invisible up there, so... But it occurs to me that if we're tall, it's actually possible to hit whatever block is up there without using the vine, and if you do that without, then you're able to get through the door with the star intact. The reason I got the Fireflower, well, I mean, we were looking at the P-switches as one possibility. We totally didn't use the Fireflower for that the last time, it's true. No. There is a particular timing that does make this work. I don't know how consistently I can do that. Yeah, we'll see about those P-switches. It's probably something useful I could do with those. I'm gonna try to get through with a star, just to see. Doesn't quite do it for me here, unfortunately. Maybe we can't quite do it. So I wonder if the P-switch does anything for me now. Yeah, I don't think we can reach. Maybe we do need Divine. Trying to cut across this diagonal here. Nope, didn't get it. Well, I don't know how doable this is at this point, but... yeah, this didn't get you anything. We'll explore. Well, if the P-switches don't necessarily get you through the line over here, then... Anyway, the first thing we have to check always is just making sure we can get the flower. There we go. The arrows actually even tell you what to do with that. And it is a level where you can trust the arrows. I guess the implication is that we can actually hit the vine. I guess if you know exactly where the invisible block is up top, you can try to do a P-jump off of one of these blocks here and still hit it, and then sneak out with a star, but that seems frightfully difficult to execute. And of course, Divine Climb does mean that we'll have some trouble with getting the P to go as well, but we can always hit the P switch on our way out. So for example, we'll leave this here first. Then tap that block. Then we activate the P-switch as we're going through. Okay. We better pick that up. Activate it as late as possible. And if we go into the next room with an activated P-switch, maybe it does something. Nope, not if we enter like that. We have more P-switches, we can try it again. If we sneak in like this. Nope. So, with the P-switch here, everything gets crushed. That I remember, oddly enough. Except we took so much damage here at this point. So we got 4 out of 7. Do we have enough keys to work with here? We do. Felt like there was something I didn't kill there, but... let's take this. L. Bowser L. Laughing Bowser loud. Ooh. Which gives me an opportunity to show that it is in the latest edition of the dictionary that we use for such purposes. The LL stands for Ludwig and Lemma. Yeah, I guess it would. Yeah, there's a Lemmy bouncing somewhere. Probably off screen slightly. Same way that you would have a looping mechanism for music, I guess. You just have a Lemmy that's standing somewhere locally and you just loop a note block to it. I would guess. There is a water segment here. I actually do remember this. That there was something that we used to do here to make this bit happen.
Oh no!
I remember I actually have gotten past this part of the level. That was a long time ago, but it didn't happen. soon on that. Nope, didn't get it. Yeah, you want it to be pushed. Nope. Here we go. Nope. Okay. Yeah, and oddly enough, it is maybe theoretically possible to jump off a P and then get a block out of nowhere. Without seeing where it is, you can't really reach it, I don't think. Let's just redo. The level that took me 3 years to beat. Ah, there have been other levels like that where I had returned to them after a long absence. There's still this one puzzle that I think about every now and then that I never managed to clear. That was a particular one-screen puzzle. The floating POW. Like bird dog, I think. And I was missing something really obvious with it, and I never figured out what. Keep meaning to go back to it on stream, of course, but there are definitely levels that, you know, I kind of remembered years later as ones that might legitimately take me several years to beat, so. Okay. We'll try to get at least one more good attempt to get as far as the water section since that's progress, but I won't get too much further than that today because, of course, we do have some people waiting, including some new people, so I don't want to stall too long, but I don't mind revisiting this one after so long. And just trying to retrace my steps for whatever it was I did. There we go. Getting a slightly more consistent. Of course, you don't get the vine here, that's all shot, so. Nope. Just bad lighting. Okay. I had a method for the water segment too, I remember. I just don't remember what it is. Nope. Yeah, the first bump kind of threw me off. Basically, I want my head to kind of cross over under the lower block. Reach the center. No, you see. To a certain extent, it might make sense to try to go for the vine first before we go for the flower, since it's the one that has more trouble happening. I'll get the blocks first just to get them out of the way. Yeah, when you slide in towards one of these blocks on the side, it makes it easier to hit the vine. Not quite. Let's try it again. Unless you're generous enough to give me multiple attempts on this. Nope. I should have just remembered every single level I've ever played on stream just in case to get requested again. Yeah, that's exactly what I needed to do. Yeah, but I do remember spending a lot of time on this one. And, you know, making a serious effort on it. It's a long, clear time on it. There are some things that, you know, not only do you need to do this consistently, you do need to do it quickly enough to have a chance of beating the timer. It's a clear condition level, we know there's no checkpoint. Yeah, we want to bunch up against these because that was theoretically what would allow me to get around that block with a star, but in practice, a little more tricky. But yeah, we'll try to get maybe one more attempt into the later area if we can. We'll probably bail at that point. For now, at least. This actually has some clears on it now, at least. I think when I originally attempted it, might not have. P-switches, we'll deal with that after we get this block here. In fact, it makes a certain amount of sense to try to escape with a P-switch. I don't know if we can. I don't think we can. Oh, as long as we cross over with the P-switch active, then it still comes down. We need to... Yeah, we need all of them to be crushed as things. It might make sense to just stay in the bottom left until we get some crushing to happen. We can just bait the Ludwigs over and have an easier time of it. Nope. Okay. Sometimes we can actually watch the timer on the clock. Or 74, for instance. Because the timer on the clock will actually tell you exactly when the block is available. And if you were kind of going into it blindly, for example, trying to go for the star approach, that actually makes it viable if you can reach. And yeah, Simon Plug, we are just kind of past closing on the queue. If we manage to have time after the remaining levels, we'll see if we can reopen. But right now I want to guarantee that I can get through everyone who's already in. Sometimes I have time for one or two more at the end, but we really can't guarantee that until we get there. But thanks for coming by and submitting regardless. So I'm trying to resynchronize here so we can get on top. Very bouncy. Yeah, and that's where the P-switch is. Drop everything up top. So we're going to make it out of here with the flower, which is great for the later water segment. Yeah, as you can see, for the hello sound, it's the Lemmy that's on the left side over here. You can kind of watch it. It is in a seemingly fixed position on top of something global. You know... No, we don't want to respawn all the enemies in the previous room, but I was thinking, wait a minute, it's a clear condition level. They should not respawn. But then all the other stuff will around them. Because I was thinking whether it's possible to maybe go all the way back to the beginning and grab more P-switches. But the Ludwigs should stay dead, right? So... Oh, there might be some one-way gates here that make that infeasible, but... Yeah, if you keep the flower into this area, then you have a much easier time, potentially, whacking these guys. We'll see. There will come a point when they jump around all over the place. This is just going to spin all the way until it makes contact, so... Not much we can do here. But we'll see. It's a big drop. We still see some projectiles down low. So it is possible to kind of nuke these here. I don't know what the bloopers were coming off a pipe spawn or something, but as long as we nuke all 3 Ludwigs, that's going to be enough to work with. But the lemmings might give you keys. That's potentially necessary. So we will need to check everything. I do remember that there's a bit of time trouble on this level, potentially. Even after the segment. And yeah, you're saying the empty water looks cool? Very much so. Okay. Not really gonna jump on things here, so it was essential that we kept the flower. Probably is a faster way to do this, but we don't have it, so. Yeah, we do need to check the lemmings for keys, that's the thing, even if we don't have them on a clear condition. Well, 1 Ludwig remains. The requirement. Time is a bit of an issue. Potentially. More fire flowers are available, which is interesting. Don't we have that much leeway. In the event that we take damage from something, but mostly just the bloopers and the shell spins at this point that are the issue. And I guess there's 1 Ludwig that's still trying to fire projectiles, but then that's gonna die. Yeah, indeed, that's gonna give you keys. And let's see what this guy gets you. Yeah, probably another key. We see a key exit in the bottom right. Okay. Okay, we've got a clear condition, we've got 3 keys. I don't think we'll do much better than this. But, oh, we better grab that flower. Look, we'll need it. However, we actually want to take damage for that. Because it is in 1 spot there. Okay. Bit of a problem. Yeah, because we do need something pretty exact there. If we lead all the bloopers over here, then we don't get additional pipe spawns yet, and then maybe we can down here too. Get that accurate door entry we're looking for. Until, of course, they come so close, and then that blows that idea up. Yeah, the Ludwigs have the clear condition and the Lemmings have the keys, exactly, so we do need everything here. Now, the thing is, I don't trust whether we'll be able to reverse through this door for an additional fire flower, which is why we don't want to just enter the door without the flower, although at this point we have so little time it won't matter. Unfortunately, particularly with Twister there, we just have to catch an exact timing on it. We'll just go through at this point. We take damage, we take damage. Well. Yeah, this will be my last attempt on it today. We'll just see if we can get through that door before a timer hits. We did see a good chunk of it. Whoop. Whatever. Let's try to enter. You need a pretty exact spacing on it. No, we're gonna die. That's alright. Well, we kind of recovered some progress. I seem to recall we had made it past that point before. I just don't remember how far. And, yeah, there's some blue pipe that dumps you in at the end before the big THX. Clear check time close to 8 minutes. And Sherby actually cleared that by quite a bit. Yeah, so close to the key door, but, you know, we could get the entry, so. Thank you for that, though, Dojo as well. Surprisingly manageable piece by piece, despite how it looks at first glance. I probably commented on that the last time, too. Okay, let's keep going. Let's just make sure we can get through everybody in queue. Leandro the Pro, thank you for waiting so patiently. If you're still here, I do see you in the chat. Yeah, let's see it. Thank you so much for waiting. Mario Kart Rainbow Galaxy. And yeah, those will be a nice change, 1 star. Yeah, easy levels are perfectly welcome. We like having a good amount of variety for pacing purposes. So I guess this would be for each lap or something. What's the bomb doing for me here? It's going to light up. It's going to hit the on-off switch. Oh, I see. It's meant to be a multiplayer versus level with everybody kind of jostling for a gate. And then it closes the gate behind you, so yeah, it's supposed to be multiplayer versus, I see. So everybody gets an entry, and then you use the P balloon to muscle your way through once it gives you a 3, 2, 1 go. But then the layouts are big enough that you don't see where everybody else is until you go through. So yeah, ideally you get the bounces as well, but well, I hope you get a chance to see this played in Versus. Even though with the camera view of 1 player here, I guess it wouldn't look too different until the end. Oops. Interesting, this block over here. And then a couple of obstacles to make our way through. Lap 3. And of course, in keeping with the recent Mario Kart World, the laps are not at all alike. I'm not one of the people who complains about the linearity of some of the courses in Mario Kart World. I've actually mostly been playing Knockout Tour in it. So I definitely have no objection to that. And here it is. Here's the condition. And then, yeah, kind of a rough time here. 167 on the clock. 06i, you're saying you can make a 4-player knockout? I'm thinking about that in terms of, you know, gates that you can hit to cut someone off. Or just some kind of detecting mechanism, I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much, Leandro Pro, for that one. Pitch Shifter, if you're still here, please check in until he... Rather, unless he fell asleep at his desk again. Okay, there we go. Yeah, and like I said, if we do finish early enough with the remaining submissions, we'll maybe extend a little bit, but we'll see how they go first. Oh, whoops. V. You're saying you've had enough sleep? That's good to know. Can't say the same for myself. Kuma, okay. Let's fumble our way through machine translation, unless, of course, you want to just tell me what it means. I think my camera on this is a bit foggy. Okay, let's see. Climb, climb, climb. Pony. Okay, that means pony in Japanese. Whether it's a mountain or a hill, I'll keep on climbing. You keep on climbing, I'll keep on climbing too. Climb, climb, climb. My feet will rise. Maybe. You can probably correct that for me. This is Google garbling. The description is the lyrics, I see, okay, to the song that is depicted here. Let's see it. Okay, let's do this. Grab the helmet, double tap. And we've got the key for the true ending. Should we see it? Wrap around, almost totally miss. Damage boost here, grab... okay, that was close. And yeah, I guess you actually have to time your exit off the claw, so... Didn't realize it until we were there. We were just trying to sight read this at a breakneck pace up to this point, so... Oh yeah, no, that's because I kind of missed the initial entry over there. Wonder about the pipe at the bottom. I guess it's just there as a diversion. We will, of course, try it with both keys. Question mark, question mark. Yeah, because we were a little bit off with our timing on the claw that last time. We will try it again, though, for the true ending. As usual. Thank you for the GG. Okay. First section wasn't too much trouble, I don't think. But you never know on future attempts. Okay, yeah, that was the issue there. And you can see there's a bit of a timer on the claw as well from the blade coming down towards it, but luckily that was not relevant to us this time. But I was fumbling the exit from the bone shell quite a bit. Yeah, it's a bit of leeway to plan that jump, just you can't take forever on it. And we'll get a bit of an extra victory chime, and there's the true ending for you. Okay, 06i, let's see what the latest recommendation will be. Grand Pooh Bear. And no numbers in this code. Interesting. Like to Cloud Action Course, Fire Flight. Very recent one as well. Well, let's hop in some clouds. And yeah, Pitch Shifter, thank you for submitting as always. And oh, that was entirely too close. What are we going to get here? More shrooms, that's fine. Cloud, there we go. We'll just dodge things until we don't. What if we come all the way up? Is there a bonus? Yes, there is. Yeah, the thing about clouds, though, is that... Oops. Their expiry timing is based on when they spawn, not from when you get in, so... We do see an expiry on it. We just may take this patiently and just, whoops, grab the next one, but not if we jump off like that, obviously. So we'll try to be a little bit more accurate. That's a shroom there. That's okay. We'll skip it. Try to do this more accurately in general. Should actually just do top and then bottom. Minimize issues with cloud expiry. Whoops. Whoa. That's okay. I was going for that platform because I knew expiry was about to hit. That won't really affect anything in terms of power progression, so it was okay to take that bit of damage. I wonder if we took that further left, if that would have gotten me anything. I feel like we shouldn't check. I feel like it does, though. There's probably some kind of spike ball passage that's possible here. Oh, not a spike ball, but Koopa is close enough. Enterable? Nope, not. But it does open this side. This totally looks like a locking risk on the top right here. Because what if you still had a cloud here? Well, no, I guess not, because you wouldn't have after this long. That's okay. Let's go. Well, no cloud action over here, but... I don't think we'll go for the 30. Let's just get out. Nope, that's okay. That's just going to happen in some places. Whoops. And the cloud enforces this exit. Kind of interesting given its structure that the flags don't just give you a mushroom out of the box, but... Oh, here's a bit of cloud pushing, so now we just go up and down. And adjust our height. The action sequence over here. Simple enough, and then we jump out. No, you need to actually get on Divine. It's just late enough that you do need to do the ceiling climb. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that expiry. I thought I would jump Vine to Vine, and we just didn't look carefully at what was going on at the Vine climb. Cloud to Cloud, rather. We just didn't look carefully at what the Vine climb would be here. Then you drop in, and that classic fire wheel over here. Always fun to look at these. And why would you want that? Maybe there was some kind of bonus if you went backwards from that point. But we'll take the clear. And the win. Molly Molly, if you're still here, please check in and we'll try to put you in. And yeah, no worries about things going on in real life. I just need to know that you're here and we're happy to play, so. There's no need to chat constantly or anything. There's no requirement. I'm quite familiar with, on both ends, people sort of sitting back and doing other things while they're in queue. Even if they've got multiple things on submission or just AFK in general. So, no worries about that. Here's Bowser's Pinball. Yeah, I totally expect that people kind of multitask and have things going on while they're in a viewer queue. It's very normal. I guess we could check that door, but, you know, let's get over here first and not eliminate too much with the moon yet. Oh, did I trap myself? I totally trapped myself. I feel like I was not supposed to do that. Okay. That's okay, it's right at the start. Yeah, you said this was a much older one anyway, right? So, I didn't actually look at the date. It's okay, I'm sure everybody finds that. And at least it doesn't kill tons of progress. Now that would send you up top. I guess you're supposed to go up top, okay. Right, because of pinball, yeah. Because it's like you're going up a pinball machine with everything bouncing. Yeah, because it's like you're going up through the gutter and then get bounced up. I don't know if you're familiar with a game called Yoku's Island Express, which is where you play as a character who essentially rolls around like a pinball. It's sort of like a Metroid structured game, but there's no combat to it or anything. It's just that you go through pinball machine segments as you traverse an open world. Yeah, you looked it up and it looks pretty neat. Yeah, it's a very gentle game actually, but it has a very memorable design. Doesn't take long at all to get through. I think it took me definitely under 10 hours to just see everything in it. But you essentially traverse a world that consists of pinball segments. There's even some boss designs that are essentially pinball machines. There's... Whoops. So yeah, there are some things to this level that reminded me of that. I think I found a soft lock in it too, actually. I mean, you know, these things happen sometimes with small independent games where I'll just try something. I don't know if it was ever patched out or anything. But yeah, I tend to lock myself more than a lot of players will just because I experiment. We better drop the icicle on events and sneak over. And yeah, we'll just try to not get knocked into this too much. I saw the drip on an icicle coming. That was important to visualize, and of course, we die right before the checkpoint. I should have taken low bounces here. just to stay within camera view, but that's okay. Let's push on through. Yeah, it looks reasonably symmetrical. The two segments here, so. Whoops. That was almost deadly. Anyway, let's try it again. This is your most recent level that you made yet? Well, if you get back to some new ones at some point, I would be happy to see it. And older levels like this are welcome too. Nope. Let's be careful here. I think it's probably easier if you jump off the Goomba, but that's okay. You're saying you have one that you like, but oh boy, did it need a lot of tweaks. I mean, the best levels always do. Oops. In some sense, in Mario Maker, you should be spending more time testing and tweaking than actually doing the initial build. Seems like something that should be happening. Okay, yeah, get a bit of that ice momentum going here. There we go. And quality humor, I of course read your comment here to the tune of the song. Plumber's jumping and the death toll is high. Yeah, very much so. We take our Gershwin very seriously around here, so... Whoops, let's head down. And Ollie Molly, you're saying the level that you're referring to was your very first level and you made it when you first got your Switch in 2020, yeah. Great game to start the Switch with. Oh, we just need to stop hitting this. We don't actually need to hit this. I keep tapping it every time carelessly, but it doesn't do anything, so that's okay. Just have to add one additional point of volatility here. Oops. There we go. Bit dangerous on the ice, but made it. Now, okay, let's go short bounces if we can to just stay in camera view. It should not go for the lower one. Same spot. We should have just gunned it to the left that time if we reach that particular block. Whoops. Yeah, speaking of which, Quality Humor, when the Switch 2 came out, we totally revisited your clock level from years ago. I did not beat it, but it was still worth a look. Oops. Just to see how playable it was. Yeah, all in all, you're saying you want to Switch 2, but just sold out everywhere. I heard that supply is actually better than people expected. I mean, it's still in very, very high demand, mind you, but, you know, they're moving the units they can. I understand that some of the tariff risk between the United States and Vietnam has kind of calmed down a bit, which is important when it comes to the Switch supply, because Switch 2 supply rather, because Nintendo had moved a lot of their manufacturing from China to Vietnam for the Switch 2, precisely because they thought Vietnam would be in a much better situation with export to the US. Now, it looked like that was under threat for some time, but I think that calmed down somewhat from what I last heard. These things change, you know, day to day and week to week, so who knows what these respective countries are doing. But anyway, that should, in the longer term, ease up the Switch 2 supply chain to, we did this again, to the US certainly, and then, you know, just by redistributing their shipping, probably to a lot of other places besides. Yeah, 06i, there is something that is likely just normalizing the exchange rate for everything involving Switch 1 in Canada. Switch 2 is not affected, because Switch 2 already has the higher prices. Essentially, 60 US is 80 Canadian when it comes to the sticker prices on Switch 1, but it has moved up to, I think, 85 Canadian already for Switch 2. And of course, with Switch 1, some of the base prices are like 70 US or 80 US anyway for the games. 70 US for Donkey Kong, 80 US for Mario Kart World, notoriously. And so the Switch 2 prices were already kind of exchange rate adjusted. Essentially, everybody's expecting the sticker price in Canadian dollars to go up because they have lagged behind the change in exchange rate in the last few years. About a decade ago, Canadian and US dollar had parity, and during the Wii U era, you know, 60 in one meant 60 in the other. We did this again. But yeah, they've been sort of ambiguous about exact nature of the changes, but I think it's very clear to everyone paying attention that certainly everything first party on Switch 1 is going to be marked up by about $5 Canadian, I think. Including some of the back catalog, which rarely happens. Usually, I think, in the past, with older software that's already been released, when there have been exchange rate changes, usually Nintendo will just ride it out. But it might be some things like service changes as well to the cost of the Nintendo Switch Online subscription and such, but yeah, back in the Wii U, for instance, when there were changes in exchange rates, I don't think the corresponding price actually went up then. Yeah, Quality Humor, you're saying that we did it again. The that you have no problem getting a Switch 2, but you haven't gotten around it. Well, that's the thing, is that Mario Kart World is priced to move the bundle, essentially, right? Like, nobody should be paying the independent standalone price for Mario Kart World. In fact, it is so clearly priced to move the bundle that Nintendo has significantly more units with the bundle than without. That they've been shipping everywhere globally. Essentially, they're saying you're not supposed to get the system without Mario Kart. We know you're getting it anyway. And given the historical software tie ratios for Mario Kart as a series, that is a pretty reasonable estimate on their part. People look at the staggering sales numbers that Mario Kart has pulled since the Wii. And that includes Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, incidentally. Relative to the small installed base of the Wii U, it was actually crazy just how widely adopted Mario Kart 8 was. And, you know, regardless of which platform you're on, the thing that really distinguishes Mario Kart more than anything else, apart from maybe Breath of the Wild back at launch in 2017, the software tie ratio on it is absolutely ridiculous. I remember that back when Breath of the Wild launched. Let's not tap this, and we didn't tap it and we fell on a spike. Okay. That it actually had a software tie ratio of over 100% for a little while, because what happened was that People who could not get their hands on a Switch 1 nevertheless bought Breath of the Wild anyway on reserve. And so there was a period early on for the Switch 1 when Breath of the Wild on the Switch actually outsold the Switch. I don't remember how long that lasted, but I do remember it being the case. Oops. Yeah, I totally understand that if you prefer physical games, then you would want to have Mario Kart World on cart, and then, it depends on how much more you're willing to pay for that. That's understandable. I find that for things that are primarily oriented around online multiplayer, that I don't mind getting them digitally, since I'm hopping in and out all the time. The same is true for anything else that's very much, constant hop in and out. Like Animal Crossing, for instance, I don't want to be changing cards. But I do still also go physical for other things. Even if it's an inconvenience to be trading the cards in and out. I do still buy cartridges. And, there's a kind of hidden savings involved as well in terms of not taking up your micro SD storage over time, but that's what the third-party publishers have kind of caught on to, right? Hence the whole thing going on with the game key carts where you need to download anything anyway, even after you have a physical license. But yeah, the bundle is with download code. They haven't done bundles with physical copies in a long time. I guess I did get a physical bundle with Breath of the Wild back at when it launched, with a very lovely case. I also came with a map, and I don't know where I put that map. But yeah, I had the special edition Switch case that looked like the Sheikah Slate. That was my main case for the entire duration of the Switch 1's lifetime. It has a bit of wear and tear on the outside now, and it does not fit the Switch 2, obviously, but I still haven't found a good Switch 2 case that did exactly what my Switch 1 case did in terms of what I wanted out of it. Okay, finally, checkpoint. There we go. Now, there is a left side passage. Oh, here's the pinball. Oh, whoops. Too much of a jump there. Yeah, all in all, crazy how you remember when Doom Eternal came out on Switch and they were only able to do digital because they didn't want to put on a 32 gig card. Yeah. As I understand it, because of the huge increase in storage requirements for games that are likely to make it a Switch 2, that Nintendo is only issuing a 64 gig size to third-party publishers, which is why you have this paradoxical situation where the games that are opting for the game key cards instead of having data on the card are actually the smaller games, the ones like Puyo Puyo Tetris. But yeah, it's very true, 06i. I've discovered this with the 3DS as well, that, if you're using something primarily as a portable, that in itself is a reason to prefer digital. If you need the convenience of not carrying cards. Not being a card-carrying member of the portable club. Okay, no, that breaks. Okay. Nope, too high. We just need a short hop. Yeah, Nintendo optimizes very well internally. With the way file sizes have absolutely ballooned over the last generation or so. A lot of it is actually stuff like uncompressed audio. Which is why increasingly you'll also just see additional localizations and voice tracks, etc. as an optional downloadable. Where even if you buy something on cart, sometimes I think they just have one language track on it. Oops. Bit of a slip. Again with the ice physics. But yeah, I just kind of plan around having to carry cards. It always pays off in the long run, you know. I find that you are taking a short-term inconvenience, but there have been a lot of situations long after the sort of primary lifetime of a given system when I feel the benefits of having gone physical much later. The most valuable video game I own, I'm pretty sure, is that I do have the physical copy of the complete Fire Emblem Fates all on card. I actually misplaced some of the other items in that special edition, but it is something that was very obviously going to skyrocket in value, especially once the eShop shut down and rendered some of that content otherwise unobtainable. And, whoops. And yeah, it was one of those where I just immediately knew I have to go physical for this since the option is available. Oh, whoops. Of all the places we could have landed. But yeah, I find that, you know, in the long term, sometimes I do a lot of private exchanges with friends and family anyway, you know, just borrowing and lending here and there, and it's just more convenient that way. But yeah, good thing Nintendo, at least with their own titles, is still putting everything on cart. Because definitely for anything single player, apart from constant hop in and out games like Animal Crossing, for instance, I'll certainly be trying to go with cartridge going forward. You have to just be aware of the hammers mostly. We'll just reverse, yeah. Oh, he's gonna drop, okay. Will he come back? Because if he doesn't, because he didn't drop into the abyss, well, we just have to wait because... Yeah, that's a bit of an issue. That... I don't know if we can get him back up here. Looks like the music trigger is in this spot. It's not tied to the boss itself, is it? Yeah, it's tied to this location. Yeah, I don't think he's coming back up. He's not in view, so... Let's just take a death and do it again. Yeah, all in all, for you it's Tomodachi Life, which is stupidly expensive now. And a year ago, a friend gave you a modded 3DS with capture card. Excellent. Yeah, I missed out on Tomodachi Life. There is, as 06 I was saying, a new one coming to Switch. The thing I'm really looking forward to, actually, is Rhythm Heaven. I got into Rhythm Heaven really late. Like, I missed out on it until the 3DS eShop shut down, essentially, when Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix, which in my region is digital only, was going to become unattainable, so I thought, okay, let's just grab this on a whim, and absolutely fell in love with it. We'll probably stream Rhythm Heaven on Switch next year, although that's at my own risk, because the thing about rhythm elements in games that I've discovered in the past is that I don't talk over them very well, because for whatever reason, keeping time does use the language part of my brain, so... We've discovered this with various rhythm-based obstacles in the past. Oops, okay. No. I guess we just have to do it this way. And maybe not stand under the pipe. Oops. But yeah, Mario Kart World I knew I wanted digitally, so I had no problems with getting it with the bundle. But the other Nintendo releases that I'm actually interested in for the rest of the year will almost certainly go cartridge. Certainly Donkey Kong in a few weeks' time. In less than 2 weeks' time, in fact. Okay. Let's get up here this way. Oddly enough, when Super Mario 3D All-Stars was revealed as a time-limited release, I actually found that a reason to go digital with it rather than physical. Because the thing about physical is that you're still able to get a second hand afterwards. If I ever wanted it on a card, you know, it's still theoretically obtainable. But in terms of getting the digital license, we only really had the one shot. Which is just how they get you. I mean... not particularly fond of the time-limited release strategy, which also affected the fresh localization of Fire Emblem 1. Anyway, here we go. Yeah, and of course, you know, Maker is another game where I'm constantly hopping in and out, so it makes sense to own it digitally. Thank you for that, Bowser's Pinball. It says a reasonable ending time for the stream for once. We sometimes go hours over, but I typically try to aim for about this time, so I think we're happy to end on that one today, and thank you so much for everybody who came by and submitted and waited through some of the longer bits. As usual, I'm pretty content with the quality of the levels that we get in the queue, and always grateful for the conversation as well to keep things interesting. Viewer levels typically returns at this time week to week. I think we should be back next week. Sometimes we have some other changes in the schedule, like how last week it was off because I was playing Scrabble in a tournament. But yeah, usually we're back in this time slot. I've been thinking about moving it to a different day, but we'll probably still keep viewer levels mostly in this slot for the near term. There might be some interruption from Donkey Kong, but that's it. Quality Humor, yeah, it was just a casual online thing. It wasn't a serious in-person money tournament or anything. Those will come later in the year. That was alright. It was a tough group. We went 5 and 7 in a 12-round marathon. It's on YouTube. I actually did commentate it. Just a casual online session, really. But good practice. I hadn't really streamed the game very much for the past couple of years. Anyway, we will be done with this for now. Speaking of maker content, so for those unaware, there is a maker relay that is happening again at Summer Games Done Quick, SGDQ, this year. And that's going to be next Friday, and usually when we have access to the level pack for the relay, we will play through it ourselves on the stream, so that's something to look forward to sometime in about a week, I guess. I'm not in touch with whoever coordinated it this year. I usually am abreast of developments about the GDQ level pack, but this year I don't actually know what's going on, but usually it's makers that are familiar to us who are involved in some capacity, so it'll be a lot of fun, I'm sure. Whether you're just watching the event or if you're playing through the levels once the codes are released. So we'll be keeping our eye out for that. We have some other maker content that'll probably try to pack in between now and Donkey Kong, and we'll see what else we can do. In the meantime, though, we're going to forward all of you folks somewhere else on a bit of a modest raid. And that'll be all for today, so thanks for watching, submitting, waiting around, conversing, everything else. And we'll see what our next destination will be in just a moment. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, have fun with everything you may be making or playing, and fare thee well.